Welcome along to week 3 of the Elite Series. This is very exciting. Joining me on the panel tonight, we've got Csgo and Herald. We are very, very excited about this match that is on the way. Prophecy versus Envyus. Neither of this side have lost so far in the Elite Series. How are you seeing this one go tonight?
Well, there's two questions, really. Where do I see it going? And where is my heart? Where's my heart? My heart is with Prophecy. You know, they're this new team. They're getting some great results coming out. But my head says it's got to be Envyus.
And what about yourself, Csgo?
My heart lies with no one currently, so I'm going with Envy.
Okay, I mean, they've got great firepower. We've seen it in their last 2 matches. But one of these teams, you know, it could end as a draw, we know that, but I mean, they'll keep their unbeaten record. But yet at the same time, they've both got an incredible amount of firepower. Looking on both sides there, you've got Prophecy on the left and Team Envyus. So many good players, you know, Arch is there, Color, and on the other side for Envyus, you've got Lambert. Hadji has been incredible with his ADR throughout the series. You know, which is going to be the key player for both teams tonight?
Well, obviously, in the past 2 weeks, I've always said Kolo, because he's that AWPer, he needs to get like plays and stuff like that. For Envy, I'd probably say Hadji, as you mentioned. I'm pretty sure he's top 5, top 10 on ADR right now. He's been a standout player for Envy and through the league so far. And
what about Prophecy for you, Herald?
Well, yeah, like Csgo said, Kolo, definitely a standout player, but then you also look to Quicks, a really solid rifler. He's always there getting franks, he's always putting impact in. And if Quicks can come alive, the rest of the team builds off his energy, they build off his play, and really he is just that team player, that staple of the team.
Okay, well there you can see the gentleman getting ready, getting warmed up. I love the different configurations they have for the keys and the mouse. It's very interesting to look at that. But listen, if you are new to esports or even just new to Elite Series, here's a quick guide to the Counter-Strike competition. In the regular season, all 8 teams will play each other once, with the top 4 teams progressing to the playoffs. Each match will be the best of 2, with the teams swapping home and away after the first map. If a team wins 1 map, they will receive 1 point. If a team wins 2 maps, they will receive 3 points. Teams will use the veto system to determine map selection. There is a maximum of 30 rounds, the start money is $800, and the side selection will be decided by a knife round. So there you go, that is everything you need to know about the Elite Series and the CSGO format. We've already had 3 matches. You join us, and we're so lucky to have you with us, but I mean, we've had 3 matches already. 2-0 across the board there, with Epsilon winning the first match. Team Envyus, a hard-fought battle there against Reason, and then Endpoint versus Method. Now, that was a real slog, that one as well. But, gentlemen, what matches stood out for you and why tonight?
I feel like it's got to be the Endpoint Method game. It was a constant back-and-forth game, both teams taking big leads and then essentially losing them, and then coming down to like the last 5 rounds or so in the game. Like, it was an absolute slobber knocker, as we were using it earlier.
Which means what again?
It's just a sort of a bit of a slobber knocker, really.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and the other game that stands out for me was the Envyus game. That was just so sick. You know, the whole time tension was up. There was never a dull moment in that game, and you can see it, you know, on the players' faces, how passionate they get, how much they're loving it, and it just is great to see. You don't often get that in UKCS. When players really care about the game, you can tell.
And in that third matchup with Method, I mean, Weber really taking it to heart. I mean, there was a lot of times where the camera cut to him and he was just looking distraught, couldn't get his boys to just play with him. Nilzino and a couple of clutches didn't quite manage to hold on to it. But I mean, hey, they can go away for a week now, improve, and then come back stronger. But I mean, Prophecy, Envyus, this is the big one tonight, because on that sort of standings at the moment in the Elite Series, they were both top of the table, haven't dropped a match so far. So, I mean, both they've won in the past 2-0. It is going to be an exciting game for that reason. Or do you think maybe it might be a slow affair? Might be a little bit sort of, nope, there's the shake of the head from Herald.
This is a massive skill game. You know, you've got those egos, you've got those personalities, and we're going to see them come alive. This isn't so much of a team-oriented game. Envyus maybe more so, but especially on the side of Prophecy, there's a lot less of the strategic, tactical side and a lot more of fragging power. Can we get the kills? Can we get work done? And effectively, if they can, they're going to be doing really well. Envyus, on the other hand, they're going to be going for a more tactical, slow-based approach and trying to get those players like Hadji into the position where they can do the work.
I mean, he causes serious damage, doesn't he, Hadji? I mean, what sort of role does he play on the team for Envyus?
From what I've seen, he's been more of an entry fragger. Like, you've got Jax playing Lurk, so those are 2 of the opposing players that I always highlight on that team. So Hadji is an entry fragger, so he goes in first and gets the opening pick, which you need it from the entry fragger, obviously. If he doesn't get that pick, you're kind of lost. You're like, oh. what do we do now?
So you get a bit of intel on where the other team are, whether the C side or T side. But I mean, obviously, we know that they play very fast, both of these teams. Can we see in any way, shape or form they'll slow it down, like we've seen in the past 3 matches today with Method? They were trying to slow play down a lot of the times, and it was a great watch, but yet it wasn't their normal style, was it?
I definitely think that Envy are definitely capable of playing a much slower game. Like Harold's mentioning, like Envy are the team here. Prophecy are more fragging power, focusing on that kind of thing, but Envy are capable of playing both styles. They're a team that have been together for, I think, about 3-4 months at this point. So they've probably adapted a fast style play, a slow style play, and then also a passive one. So it's more like we'll see it from them, if any of them.
Yeah, and the picks have been important for the other 3 matches today. What do you reckon, map-wise, Prophecy and Envyus will go for?
Well, the past 2 weeks, Prophecy have picked Train both times. However, Envy have banned it as well. Okay. So it's possible that we don't see that get picked. But then at the same time, Envy have played Cobble twice and Inferno twice.
Okay.
They've had the luck of playing the same 2 maps both weeks in a row. So I'd like to think that one of those does get banned out, but it's a possible theory that one of them does stay in.
Okay. And what about yourself, Harold? What do you think is going to happen when that maps again? I mean, they've predetermined which ones they're favourable on, but maybe they could cause a couple of bluffs here. You know, the other side thinking they're going to be weaker on one map, and then it just pulls out. I mean, that could happen tonight.
It could potentially happen, but I think it's unlikely. I think we are more likely to see a Cobble Train kind of a matchup. That makes more sense to me, or maybe Cobble Inferno if Envyus are very lucky. But at the end of the day, Prophecy really, they should be happy to play on most maps, as long as they avoid the overpass pick and the nuke. Really, they should be pretty happy. You know, it is one of those skill teams. They want to get the frags going. They want to get rolling. So if they can get onto a cobblestone, that's a great map for them. Even though it is a very strong map for Envyus. You know, you've got players like Quick, and Quick's on cobblestone very, very strong. So if they can come alive, I genuinely think this could go either way. I honestly do.
Oh, so
a lot of the time I say that, but
yeah,
I believe.
But this is definitely in the balance. Well, what we'll do is we'll have a quick break right now. When we come back, we'll find out what the players are doing with the picks, and then we can have our maps, and then we can have some gameplay. It's very exciting. Don't go anywhere.
And another round on the board for Envyus.
Prophecy pick up another round.
And Envyus in a great position. It's all popping off.
They win this. Prophecy get another round.
Absolutely supreme play.
1-2, Lambert finds the third.
And instantly, Envyus, such a read on it.
V-kill takes him down, and that's the end of that. Match point now, Prophecy.
Welcome back to the Gfinity Arena, where Prophecy and Envyus are about to tear lumps out of each other in our standout Counter-Strike game of the day. But where they play can be all important to the outcome of the match. So here's a little explainer on map selection. The home team will initially be decided by a toss of a coin, and that team will have the first map veto. The away team will veto the second map. The process then repeats for the next two vetoes. After that, the home team will pick the first map. The away team will pick the second map, and the remaining map is discarded. So there you go, there's the explainer on the maps. Gentlemen, we're about to go live now to find out the map selections. Now, you said they're trying to avoid, which one was it, Cobble they're trying to avoid? Did you reckon they're going to go for that one tonight, SEO?
I feel like it was either Cobble or Inferno. It's just like a safe bet. You avoid one of them. Like, you don't want to really just jump into the comfortable zone that Envyus have created for themselves. As well as that, though, Prophecy have actually been vetoing Nuke and Inferno each week so far. I think Quicks mentioned that on the desk. He was like, yeah, we've got two maps that we always get rid of.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't be seeing those two maps come back in.
There you go, straight away.
So
Overpass has been vetoed.
That's one of the maps they did veto in the first week, so that's not much of a surprise. I'll be interested to see if Prophecy do stray away from the bans they have been doing so far. So Nuke is regular. That's what they did the past 2 weeks. That's normal. For Envy, I'd probably expect maybe a train ban, considering Prophecy have played it twice. They've actually avoided it. Mirage. So do Prophecy stick with the two bans that they did in the past 2 weeks? If they do, I'd be surprised. There we go.
There we go.
Okay. So they do stick with the two bans. So but it does mean that Train, Cobble, what else left?
Train.
There's another map.
Well, obviously Cash, but it's going to be Train. Yeah.
It should be Train.
We expect it to be Train.
Prophecy should be picking the map they have played twice.
Okay.
Oh.
Curveball.
Curveball.
When Quicks was playing for the UK team in the last finals of an event in the UK, they did play Cash and won on Cash. So maybe there is some thinking behind this.
Okay, so to break that down a little bit, they've gone for Cash. Why? Why would they choose that map? Is it just because of Quicks' play? They're going to let him off the leash and let him...
It's a simple map. It's a simple map. Play their game, then they can put some skill to work. It's one of those maps where you don't have to be overly tactical to be able to put fragging power into use. So they have an opportunity here to essentially just play their game and play for frags and picks.
So a puggy game.
A puggy game.
A puggy game. And what about the other map we've got, Cobble? Sort of the tactics that go behind that map.
I think it's a no-brainer really for Envy. Like, they've played it twice so far. They've comfortably won on both times. So it's not much of a... Like, there's no thought behind it other than the fact we're comfortable on this, we can play this, let's do it.
Okay.
But on Prophecy side, though, they must have been thinking, well, if we ban Inferno, they're just going to always try and get that Cobble pick. So it could well be a mind game in that situation, as well as not picking Train.
Yeah.
Like, they played it twice and they're thinking, Envy might have looked at this. They've looked at everybody else's demos. They've watched back the VODs.
Oh, so they would have done a bit of prac on that.
Yeah, so they might have been aiming to have them pick Train. Leave it in, so they pick it, but they've not picked it.
Okay, the old...
So that might have blindsided them a bit.
Yeah.
Blindsided or the old switcheroo. I like it. I want to get your prediction on Cobble for these two teams. Prophecy, unbeaten. Envyus, unbeaten. This is the match we are excited about. The last one of the day on the Elite Series for week 3. But tell me, prediction, please. Now, for everyone watching this, wherever you may be, this man has been sat on the fence all day, pulling out the 1-alls. But where are you going to go with this one? Yeah,
I sat on the fence until I thought, you know what, Endpoint will lose. Endpoint won, so I'm going to go back on that fence. Okay. Stick with the 1-1.
All right, but 1-1 for who? Which maps?
Cobble to Envy and Cash to Prophecy.
Okay, there you go. Cash to Prophecy. Cash money. What about yourself, Harold?
As much as it pains me to do so, I'm going to actually say the same thing, and I'm going to say Cash goes to Prophecy and Cobble goes to Envyus. Okay, well, there you go. There's the map selections, and no real sort of surprises there on that. So which are the players for both Prophecy and Envyus? I mean, you said Envyus are going to win on Cobble, Harold. So where is that key player going to be for them? Well, it's got to be Jax and Hadji. You know, Jax has to be working on those entries, and Hadji has to be working off the back of that. He has to be getting those frags. He has to be going in huge, because he is one of those really powerful, potent players on the team. So essentially, it doesn't completely with Envyus come down to fragging, whereas with Prophecy, you know, you are depending on the frags. They have got that team backing to fall back on. You know, you've got Lambert in that IGL position. So as much as the fragging is very, very important, it's against a team like Prophecy. They have a little bit of tactics to fall back on. So as long as Hadji and Jax are playing their roles, then they should be fine.
I can't believe both of you are sat on the fence for this, but I respect your opinions, honestly, I do. As I turn over to the casters for today, Pansy, Tom Biz, you've heard it from those lads, Herald and SEO, they're both saying 1-1. They're sitting on the fence. Now, you're shaking your head.
I'm done with this.
You're done with this. Tell me, how are you seeing it?
They're meant to, you know, put it out there with some backing to it. And I'm not happy with that. I'm going to go 2-0 to Envy. I think they've got depth in their map pool. They play against higher tier teams. They're rated higher. They practice against, you know, alternate attacks out there, LDLC on a regular basis. So even if it's not in their map pool directly, I think they've got a better chance of picking it up than Prophecy. Prove me wrong. I'd love to be wrong, but so far I have 100% accuracy.
I cannot prove you wrong, but I can say this much. Prophecy are unbeaten so far, 2-0 on both of the last matchups. What about yourself, Tom Biz? What are you saying?
She's not going to be happy, and she already knows this, but I plan to sit on the fence as well. I think it looks quite comfy over there. So after my bold prediction earlier and being completely wrong, I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1.
Guys, I'm going to leave it in your capable hands. This is a great matchup. It's Team Envyus versus Prophecy. I'll leave it to you, Pansy and Tom Biz.
Thank you very much. No, this is going to be an incredible matchup. I'm really excited for it. I think it gives us a good view of where people stand as well, because as said, these two teams have run so far ahead of the rest of the pack so far. They've really put themselves up as, you know, 1 and 2, whichever way you want to split it. But now we get to see who's better head-to-head. Now, that may not equate to who's better overall against the other teams. Map pools may not line up, but for now, let's kind of bring it into this matchup. You said 1-1. Is it purely map-based?
Well, I think for starters, if you end up with, well, the first map at least, this is Cash, but the first map going on to Cobble, it's been one that we've seen out at least from Envyus Academy all the way through so far, and they've been very impressive on it so far. So I don't really see that going the other way. And then going on to Cash, it's a little bit of an unknown sort of thing for Prophecy, because there are literally no other statistics for them other than what we've seen at this tournament. And they haven't played Cash yet. So it's unknown for Envy. So any practice that they've gone into looking at VODs, which I imagine their academy team would have been doing, they still have the same sort of org behind them. I think they're going to want to have them doing all this research. But how do you research a map that you've never seen? And then if I go down to, okay, individuals, yes, they've been very talented, but this team is the Prophecy team is like a band of misfits. You've sort of brought them together. You've got a talented youngster in Kolor. You've got Kale, who's been an absolute beast in the last few weeks. A 1v5 clutch, just showing his individual skill. And then going onto a map like Cash, I think that's where they take it.
Do you know what? Do you know why I went for Envy? Because I can see some of the Envy management in the crowd. So they've got the little, you want like a jumper or something? No. The crack of the whips in the back of their head. They're thinking, all right, we've got to perform today, boys. We've got to bring out the A game. No messing around here. We've got to prove it. And this is the academy team. Now, that's still incredibly high caliber. If you're Prophecy, a very well-known organization as well, maybe not so much prolific within Counter-Strike as other games, but Envy have prestige to that name. You know, there's a little bit of a, all right, these guys are pretty serious. And I know that they train a hell of a lot, or they play a lot with some of the LDLC guys. The French teams do bounce off each other quite well. They have a great scene of talented players. So for me, I just feel there's a little more depth. Now, I could be proven wrong. This could be 2-0 to Prophecy, and we're all wrong. Because did anyone go for the 2-0 Prophecy?
No, all of us are on the fence, and then it's you.
There's just me.
You're the one out there.
Because if you go so wild on your kind of pick, and it turns up to be correct, everyone thinks you're a genius. And if you're wrong, they're like, oh, he was never going to be right. It's the Anders pick. If you ever watched him, you know, projecting that
well, he just goes with his heart. That's what it is.
Exactly. And maybe my heart's just with the Envy side for now. But we'll see if there's any proof in that sort of thing. For now, we're just waiting on the players to get themselves prepared. You can see them just going through those last mental checks, making sure everything's in order. Now, bearing in mind, Prophecy, they are a bit of an EU mixed team. They've got a couple of nationalities coming into this. Communication then gets brought up. You've got a predominantly French side over on the other team. Most of the other teams, all English speaking. I guess Barbar is Swedish, and you got Freddie B in there, who's also another Swede. And a couple of players here and there, but Barbar's been playing in the UK scene since I can remember. You know, this guy's been there for years. I don't know much about Prophecy, and we hear this from the very top tier teams, the very best in the world, that communication can be hard to keep going in those high pressure moments. Do you reckon this could be something that may affect them, or maybe not in this game?
I think especially for like the youngster as well, Kolor coming into this, I think when you're going into such a sort of high pressure environment, like the last time I saw him at least was in the team Fruits. So when I sort of look at him, I go, okay, he hasn't had this sort of like international performances yet. That was actually in one of the qualification for Star Series. I want to see, like, we saw him on Train, the first map I casted of him, he was very slow to start.
Now, I like this already from Prophecy. Now, considering I'm back in Envy, we'll see how it goes, because actually Envy have a great approach to this. Now, of course, it will be Envy on the T side, so they're on the attack. and they're choosing the right side at the moment. They need to get a bomb down, and they're heading towards A. They've already isolated Arch, but he's putting up a great fight. What? He's found 2? How does he do this? Back to the wall. CS does eventually fall, but by now the information's been gathered. But I love a 4-1 start on a defending CT side. I think that's so exciting. Vast majority of the time, attacking teams always hit that B site on the Glocks. It's way better for range. But you saw there them just stacking together, going towards A, but as said, that one-man Arch stopped them in their tracks.
Yeah. And we heard earlier from Envy themselves that they do feel much more confident over on this T side. So we'll have to see if that carries over, whether they're going to perform the same today. Of course, Arch has played perfectly already. Like, finding 2 kills for 1 when you're the only man on a site is more than you're expected to do. Really, this team is setting up more for a retake. Like, if he goes 1-on-1, they're going to be like, okay, that's fine. That's what's expected. But for him, started strong, 45 seconds up on the clock. Now, the big thing here from Envy is they've played it patiently. They've waited to hope that they've rotated away, but I like the spot from Slap. He's not playing up in their face. He's not giving the Glocks a chance. He's waiting back on the site, and he's going to buy as much time as he can.
I guess the second important thing is that Lambert didn't go down. He had all the utilities, so he's able to smoke off the door, but Slap lives up to the name. Backhand, scale down. But it's overwhelmed in the end by VKL. So the bomb's going to be planted now, so that will allow the time to now be favorable towards the terrorists as that bomb goes in. And now they can wait, they can watch, they can try and find the angle, but already fire comes through towards Lambert. And 3 players to find. This is no easy task.
VKL going to be the man to watch. Looks for the spot, and he misses both. Leaves it all onto Lambert. The AWPer for the team, but this time he has a Glock, and it's definitely not the same caliber of weapon. Taken down in a matter of seconds, and although the bomb goes down, which is a nice bonus for Envy, Prophecy will go 1-0 up.
Yeah, considering the situation that was given to Envy, they worked that bomb plant in nicely. That was good, but you saw those individuals already starting to fire up for Prophecy. There was a good couple of moments there. Arch here. Brilliant information gathering. He fluffed it a little mechanically, backing away from that. There could have been a third, but more credit to him than anything that he bought time, found out the info, and fell off from it. But this is interesting. So Envy get the bomb plant. Vast majority of people will start looking towards the third to get that full buy. They've forced up here. They've got the Tech 9s, all the utility, and a Mac 10. It's not a bad purchase. So this is actually not a bad plan at all.
Yeah, the problem is they all have head armor, so Mac 10 not going to be ideal, and he doesn't have head armor, so he's vulnerable, let's put it that way. But looking like he's going to be the first man on spot, leading the charge, maybe setting things up for these Tech 9s. It's straight out on the broken wall. Calais started things off, and they're playing more passively, trying to hold back, and so far it's only 1 kill available for the T's. A little bit of extra damage done, but Petit very low on HP. 10, in fact, and he's down within a second. So nice work from the CT side. They stopped that early buy, and also with no bomb plant, no extra money.
I like the theory behind the approach from Envy. It's a nice idea, but especially if you're playing against a team who's going for that 4-1 formation, putting 4 players towards the B site early, leaving 1, maybe a roaming player in between to kind of play rotate. You've got to be able to kind of make it almost default. You've got to bring the players back to that level playing ground, otherwise you'll never get those Tech 9s to the advantage. Your flashes have to be second to none, completely blind up the opponent so you can make that hit happen. But for now, Prophecy have the advantage, and they can stay on these SMGs for way longer now. They know they can go on that free farm mode. So without the armor sitting beside the terrorist side, the T side here of Envyus, they're a little bit weaker than they'd like.
Yeah, this is where the MP9 is the shredder. It's probably one of my favorite weapons to watch in anti-eco rounds because it is just ridiculous the way you can just spray away at multiple players. It's more satisfying than watching a UMP, I feel. So either way, we are going to have to push into drop. Close range battles. Slap going to be the man on point, ready and waiting. This is cash to be made for him here. $600 per kill. Starts off the first, has a nade ready, and with no armor, this is just going to be catastrophic, but already just quick cleanup. 1 kill will come in, a little bit of extra damage, but with all these SMGs, there's that final kill coming in, actually for Slap.
It's fine. Yeah, I even like the way Envy tried to cover their footsteps by dropping into drop as they shot. They kind of faked it out, see if they could. As I said, those rounds you're not expecting to win. You know you're at such a big disadvantage. Just trying to get a gun away, force them to rebuy, get 2 kills. You feel way better about it. You know that you've done some damage, but they're not enough. And Prophecy's going to know that they're in a good position here. They've gone for a bit of a cheeky approach, keeping those 2 UMPs. Still very viable on this map, though. You can play one by drop. It used to be very, very dominant for a while. But looking at Envy, they've got the rifle buy up. A little limited in the form of, a couple of flashes here and there. Some bits to the arsenal they might like to bring in. But overall, pretty well set. We should see a bit more of a standard round start to form out between these 2. But early on, got to say as well for Prophecy, I like the way they're holding on to their utility and they're not using it early. They're not getting flustered. So hopefully that can continue throughout this round.
very long rotation from the players on A as well. If it is going to be a B hit, they're right up all the way down A long, playing a bit of a bait and switch, but it's Calais who's going to be the man with something to do. Both players through the smoke, not finding anything as of yet, but it's information at least for the CT side, which is always important on a map like Cobble.
Brilliant CT aggression actually from Prophecy. A deep smoke towards B long. You can see it's allowed Arch to push all the way back up and reclaim map control. Now in the meantime, Envy have fought back themselves. They've got a player into drop here, which is Csgo. That what he can do is be a nuisance. He keeps players on the site. All he has to do is stay alive for a while, maybe get a kill. That's perfect. Doesn't need to do any more, but it looks like he wants to do a bit more and he eventually gets found. But in the meantime, Envy is starting to hit the site, and that's a big kill. The AWP going down means that big gun with all that capability, possibility has been removed, and Prophecy get put to the position where you're likely to save.
Yeah, the other player on the site as well had a UMP, so the second those long-range battles come in, it's not as viable as it was before. The nerf, nice shot as well from Scout, takes the head off one of these saving players and leaves Calais, well, 14 HP. He has to get as far away as humanly possible.
Yeah, time to try and keep that gun into the next round. As a pause is called. Might be a tactical one. We'll have to see what they can come up with. I'm pretty sure Envy have a manager. I'm not sure if Prophecy do. Do they have a coach beside them? I'm not too sure myself, so I wonder if maybe...
A bit small.
Yeah, we can't quite peek over. Of course, these teams, you know, they're still rated around the top 100. I think Envy currently sit around 70, if you know, on the official rankings, or you know, the rankings that are out there. I think Prophecy just above the 100 marker. So kind of hard to know who the coaches are, what they do. But there's the Envy coach, so this might be a moment for him. But for now, I'm not seeing much talking from him. Might be just
yeah, no, it's
down.
Prophecy.
We'll see. Yeah, so Prophecy maybe just
very early.
It is very early.
One round loss. Clearly not happy with how it went. Whatever happened in that round. Maybe loss of drop control was a little bit unexpected.
They did play it very passively though. They never kind of vied for it early. They left it open. So I don't know what they expected.
Yeah, but I like it in a way, but you haven't really seen very much. So you're sort of picking apart one single round. It must have been something that they've seen from their strategy. Also, their money's going to be in a bit of an interesting place because Kolor bought up the AWP, so he doesn't have that much cash. So it could be just down to, okay, it's very early in the game. We want to get off to a good start. Want to try and break them back. Are we going to invest here? Are we going to wait one more round? Like those sort of thoughts going around. I imagine they'll buy here in this sort of situation. That's what you normally see. They've only lost 3 in a row. They made quite a bit of cash off the SMGs as well. So I expect to see a buy coming out, but yeah, I quite like that they've taken such an early pause.
It is very unusual, though. It's something you don't often see. Not this early in a game, of course.
Well, that's a 1 round loss.
Yeah, exactly. It's maybe these guys, as you said, just felt uncomfortable at something that happened, didn't like it, thought, why not use it now? Don't let Envy build back in. Also, as well, if you want to go to the mental approach, it removes that momentum away from Envy. I don't think I'd put a whole tactical timeout to that, but it's certainly an aspect to it that they could be looking at. But for now, let's see how that's changed things up for Prophecy. It looks like we're having a closer play towards drop from Slap. He's playing by the window. And then Arch kind of on the other side. He's playing more Speedway side. We can see Jax here defaulting out. And essentially all that means is he's waiting to see if that defending side wants to get information and go aggressive. So they spread out throughout the map, wait it out, see what happens, not allow the defending side Prophecy to find anything, for free at least, without committing. And then they can hit the site and know they're in the right place. But again, we are seeing this 4-1. They're allowing that AWPer to solo out on A, which is dangerous because Long's open. He can't see it all.
Yeah, I like to look at this as sort of the snacks play, where he's just been given all of that pressure. Peek out from Slap, maybe expecting them already to have dropped, and actually we lose Quicks peeking into the window, so early aggression out from the T's has netted them a kill, and now things sort of switch back into a more, well, still the one player, but it's just reduced heavily. The B site no longer as sturdy as it once was, and you can already see a little bit of a probe coming out from Jax as he looks to try and maybe find a bit of information over towards A.
Jackson maybe tested over by Long, put a little bit of smoke into play, it would work, but they actually have drawn over Slap completely. So really they've got 2 players now on towards the A site. Kola hasn't really come back over, but that's a nice bit of stopping power. Denying VKL any step towards the side, but already Envy are right at the door. They've got 4 players waiting to go against merely 2. So this is outnumbered, outgunned. Prophecy need to stop them in their tracks and they can't, but that's a shot to hit. Finally, a bit of a fight back from Prophecy, but it's still a 2v3. Advantage firmly in Envy's hands, but that bomb is a bit uncomfortable for them. They have to get that back, and here's the flank.
Yeah, Slap needs to get this kill, otherwise things become very difficult for Kolor. 36 HP, and yeah, right decision. Fade away, hold on to that AWP, and yeah, they just, again, I feel like you're right with the sort of rotations they pulled in there. They must have seen somebody over towards that A side of the map, because we see a second player make their way over. And once that happens, the 2 players on the site, it was pretty much down to Calais. And ooh, Kolor down, just 10 HP. Actually gonna get smoked off.
The money being how it is, could have really done with keeping hold of that AWP. That gun is what, one of the most expensive in the game in itself. So you want to keep that to hand. You want to ensure you can keep that going forward. 1 shot, predominantly 1 kill. So again, great value to it. But Envy, I like this approach on the T side. Again, I don't know how much to read into T sides, because so far during this, this event today, we've seen a lot of teams can pull off the T side, but the way that they play it out is nice. They've got a good, strong default so far. We haven't seen it truly tested. There was some nice CT aggression from Prophecy with that deep smoke, allowing the 2 players to push up. But now with their money broken, they're just down to pistols. This should be where Envy build right back into this now and get the scoreline back to 3-3.
Yeah, I think at some point as well, I'm hoping they'll play Kolor in a more rotational way, where we'll see him over towards that B plat a little bit. I'm always a big fan of having that sort of aggressive AWPer, and it's sort of being one of the youngsters of the team, I expect him to have that almost sheer confidence plays where he hasn't got to the point where he's starting to question what he has to do, and he's more just like, I'm going to go here, I'm going to take this shot, and if I die, oh well. And you need to have that sort of confidence on a map like Cobble, because most of the time you're peeking into angles that will always benefit the Ts.
4-man stack on long is a little bit dirty though, isn't it? And look, the bomb's falling into this trap. That might ring alarm bells. If they see one more player, they might get a little spooked out here. You can see them slowing down on the minimap. They're starting to just... Is that normal? Is the player... No, okay, careful guys. There's a bit of a stack is going to be called out. One's in the boost behind him, and that's the Arch who completely destroys Jax. Now he waits patiently too. Gets spotted out though. Lambert going to take the fight, and it's Skell to support, leaving Slap, the last man alive. Any more damage is brilliant, but very unlikely.
Yeah, just a USP. And, well, just goes gun-ho into the action to try and find something. Ends the round quickly, and the scoreline will now be evened up. So T-side, once they've had the buys, pretty good so far, but it should be a buy coming back in for the CT side as well. Whether they have an AWP will be interesting. I do think Kolor may have had a bit of extra cash, but not enough for him to get an AWP, so it is down to just rifles. Slap on a UMP, not really the end of the world. There's plenty of places that you can support this weapon, be it drop, broken wall, or even sometimes on an aggressive long spot, but Kolor, gotta be careful here, actually finds the shots through the door himself, and that's a nice start for Prophecy.
That's massive. It's the first time they'll get A control. That's going to lose some quicks. You can see him instantly heads back over towards B. Good reaction from Prophecy as VKL starts to stretch his legs, and a missed shot. Unfortunate, that'd been a nice clean kill, but that's going to allow Cali now to play back into this. He can start exuding his control towards platform. Deep smoke again. Now the support's going to arrive. Not sure if it's going to be Arch again or who, but the flash to follow and they both face. This puts the T-side on the back foot here, but VKL comes out fighting, and Slap now under pressure comes up to the challenge, but it's VKL. He's doing it all so far for the T-side. Smoke goes in, and Slap's aware of what's happening with great flashes. Allow him loose. That's 3. He's on for the ace.
Yeah, now back into a 2 versus 3. The site is going to be falling. A minute left on the clock now. CT side not even sure where they're going to be going, and it leaves them in just a middle ground. They don't have a kit already. Utility is at such a minimum that they need to be finding a pick realistically before the bomb goes down. This will give them the time to actually spot the remaining 2 players, find something out. Quicks trying to find the kill, but it's just going to be him alone, and although he gets one, a very easy trade for Envyus.
So the Envy fans in the crowd. I see him over there. As said, the management's watching. All right, they're keeping close watch on these guys. But no, credit to VKL in that situation, considering they weren't in a great spot, considering they lost out on the early kill. They were down, 2 players? He claimed them back incredibly well. So good stuff to him. But on the other side, I still like the intuition from Prophecy to play like this. They didn't pull it off in the end. It didn't really work out, which is a shame. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a good idea. It's the right idea. You sadly just have to land the shots, as simple as that comes down to it. 4-3 now. Envyus only back in the game, and the gun rounds have been quite, I wouldn't say decisive, but they've looked strong in them.
Oh yeah, since they've had the AKs in hand, although a lot of the rounds have started very well for Prophecy, they really haven't ended that way. Multiple players surviving, Envy building up a decent amount of cash, and in this round they're back to pistols and still somewhat playing a default. I preferred the way they were playing before, where they were gambling a little bit more with these rounds. If they push our way, great. If not, it's not the end of the world. Instead, they've sort of got just a normal round, which then with pistols, which I don't think will ever work.
This is the thing that worries me, though. Because Prophecy used their timeout so early on, you know, once they get into the real meat of this half, or even second half, what do they do to adapt? That's very, very sloppy stuff between them both, but BKL again comes out of the picture. Not too surprising considering he had full weaponry. Kind of going to hear the
flank
come through yet, but yes, the flank is the next big thing. We've got Cola here just slowly working around, and Quix is going to see it all, but there it is. The Deagle comes through. Orp now recovered. This could get deadly, but no. Skell denies it, and down to 3 now.
Oh, where can Quix hide, though? Just below. They jump, and he doesn't connect a shot onto anybody. Slap, in the meantime, has managed to rotate back in. There's not a lot of time on the clock, so maybe with a miracle he can drop that bomb.
This gets scary. It's 20 seconds. If anything goes wrong here on this cross, or even trying to plant the bomb,
they really have
they're done.
Time. They're still going very, very slowly as well. Here's the Deagle. Misses the first shots, but it means they can't actually get towards him. However, Jax will close him down. I don't think there was any real chance of survival in the end with him alone on the site, but it did get a little bit close for Envy.
This is the thing, you know, leaving it that late in those rounds without mollies or, you know, Molotovs to clear out the corners, that's where things get worrying. Because if he swings out, gets 1 Deagle headshot 2. We've all seen it, you know, Dupree's clip on Overpass, the infamous one.
Happy.
Yeah, exactly. Happy on Inferno, these sort of things happen. And you think, if that just hits, if, you know, those 2 shots just coming back to back, that's bomb loose. No chance really, just has to stay alive for 3 seconds. Sounds easy, it's not, but, you know, overall, a little bit of a different look here. Cola going to be looking up for that bomb, and he actually might have a bit of a glimpse of it. I do like the change-up from him, being a little bit more active in the fight here. Got to be careful, it's going to be spammed out, but then again, Jax got completely ruined last time he went here.
Yeah, this time there's an AWP on the other side, so maybe want to be a little bit more careful, if anything. At the same time, they're falling back into the 4-1. Now, this didn't work last time. They actually got slaughtered over on this side, and this time Calais started off well, but this was all just the fake. Everybody else is making their way towards that A site, and there's only 1 man there.
But here's the response as well. You can see Quix and Slap already heading off towards A, and just supplementing the original player, but Cola needs to make an impact. They should be able to get out on 1 without someone making contact. That's a bit of an error. He does eventually get there, but they've lost 2, and now him as well. This has become a little too much, a little bit too quick, and it doesn't seem as though they know how to approach Envy here. 3v2, but look at the lockout with utility left alive. The smokes coming up, the wall of denial basically it's built. And I don't see Prophecy being able to pull this one off.
Yeah, Cola actually hits a tag as well as getting one of the kills, but it just seemed like they were a little bit too late to actually rotate in. Then Lambert somehow hits the shot on Upper as well, and that's just it. They're still trying to get back in, though. They do have a kit, but utility is a bare minimum, but Arch actually gets one pretty quickly, and Lambert is very low on HP. He does have the AWP, of course, and a nice position coming out from Skell just to hold on to the bomb, but now he's all that remains. As said, they don't have a smoke or anything, so it's just going to have to be the body block here. Try and hold on. He's ducking up and down and very close, but in the end, Envy still hold on.
That was down to the wire, though. Skell at the very end committed just over the wall. Any mistake, any misstep, any missed shot, that's going the other way. That was down to the last second. So again, incredibly close round. That very late retake seemed to catch him off guard. Maybe thinking, they're not going to go for this. They're almost out of time. That was, as I said, down to the last second. You can see it here.
Crouch here.
Had to commit over it. Just about made it there in the end. But now you can see it. Now Envy's really coming into their own. I want to have a little look at the money overall for Envy. I think they're starting to sit on really good money. Yeah, look at that. 8K, 7. Great money. They're keeping players alive. A couple of the last rounds have been a little bit closer, but overall, the better you go, the more you win in these rounds, the cleaner you stay with all your players staying alive with their guns already invested, the better your money sits. So of course the T side of Envy sitting very nicely on the other side, Prophecy suffering.
Well, this is where they've said this is where they're confident. And you can see it for sure in a lot of the way they play the rounds, the takes, even leaving it down to the wire. I'm not a fan because it keeps me on edge, but at the same time, if they feel confident in it and it works, I can't really take too much away. Although just because it works doesn't mean it's good. I'm not saying in their case, but that is a case in many things. A little bit of aggression over towards the A side. They have been able to invest a bit more based on the loss bonus now building up. Of course, it's at max with 6 rounds in a row, although it was a max a round ago with just 5. They got a couple of players in drop. There's actually no one over towards that plat position. They're going heavy over towards A at the moment.
Now I think Envy are just trying to find out where they are. Jax is getting a little bit curious. He's walked pretty far and not really had much of a fight, but there's been smokes put up. So you kind of feel as though there's going to be someone around, but where are they? You start working out, well, because I've not seen anyone here, we're going to have to make an assumption there's got to be players here, right? It's that kind of process of elimination. Now, G, again, we've seen this before. They like this. They leave him in drop. He got one last time and then traded out. But this time, with superior weapons, he should be just fine. But here we go, down to 17 seconds. And here comes the problem. We highlighted this before. Anything goes wrong, a couple of shots hit, you know you're in trouble. 10 seconds.
That's it. They've done it. Just based off those couple of kills.
Where's
I don't
Arch?
think they have time to actually get back. Just don't die. Arch just needs to hold on. They're hunting for him. That's all they can do because they don't have time to plant the bomb. Arch gets away with a second, but that peek in, that was insanely risky.
Why did he go for that? He didn't need to. Arch could have just run the hell away.
He pulled it off. It's fine.
But this is what we mean about leaving it so late in the round.
Color,
especially when
massive.
Because they didn't clear middle. He slow walked up it and then he went through danger towards long. But then obviously that gap of time when the CT side can push back in, you're just hoping that you land the shot first, which is too risky for those rounds. Pistols are very strong, even if they're not the superior weaponry. But that's going to get Frosty right back in this, for now at least.
That's the first buy round they've actually managed to win. It was based off of pistols. Classic Counter-Strike, as always. Kolor's going back to this sort of aggressive peak. He hasn't found any love over there as of yet. Not a single player facing into his crosshair, at least while he's had the AWP. He got one with the rifle, but that's not what he wants. He wants to get that AWP kicking, and I want him to get that AWP kicking as well. I think he's very, very good once he gets rolling. Saw that on Train versus Endpoint, but I feel like Endpoint are a bit of a different beast.
I tend to agree with you. Hatch is going to give us some real freedom to get in towards drop. This time gets sent packing, down to 10 HP. More flash, though, will allow opportunity, and a swift shot from him, too. Arch's head rolls on the floor, but Kola going to instantly trade things back to a 4v4, and he wants to take it even further. Lambert's on the other side, but he doesn't realize that he could be exposed. He is, and the bullet to the back will all it take, as now we're into a 4v2. Schlapp and Kali wondering where the hell the rest of their team went, as it's all gone terribly wrong.
The A site being cleared out. Slap sort of caught between two worlds at the moment because Envy are yet to really decide themselves where they're going. Still waiting patiently. They should clear out the A site and have a flank onto B if they want. At the moment, Slap just in no man's land, not really knowing which way to go. Lambert sneaking round the back. They should know roughly where he is now. And how on earth does that connect?
Flying Tech 9s.
That would drive me up.
French CS, you know? That's how it is.
Got flying weapon kills.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make those comparisons.
That's not normal, just in case you're wondering. Doesn't happen every day. Shouldn't happen any day anyway.
Oh, it does when I play.
Really?
Just that good.
All the time?
Yeah.
Can't be controlled. Can't wait to see you on the stage, Tom. Not just commentating, playing.
I know, I'm too old now.
Yeah, past it.
Hit the age of 22 and I'm too old.
The ripe old age of 22. The dream is over for him, but it is not for these guys. 7-4 so far. And as I said, Prophecy off to a blistering start, almost somewhat flawless. Thoroughly impressed with how they played it. We saw those great bits of pistol work coming out from Arch over on long and everything else working well, but once the guns came to hand for Envy, it's been almost relentless.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, they seem to be throwing in a lot more the sort of interesting strats, which is very common when you have pistols, but I always wonder if these are the things that work, why not give them a go with the rifles? Like have a little bit of a obscure play, try and catch out this T-side and maybe hurt their economy a bit, because, well, in this round at least, VKL, he's been a beast over towards this B-side plat so far. He's just been pushing out, taking heads, taking names, and while considering what's invested, it's not as impressive, but last round they had this sort of investment, they won.
That's very true. I don't think they'll be able to retake so easily here. And I think Quicks agrees, so he's going to go try and get some exits. Arch is the same, so they just want to tear those guns away from the opponent, maybe keep them for themselves, because they can't really damage the economy of Envy too much at this point. It's still pretty robust. Here you can see closing in. Nice shot. Oh, brilliance from Arch. That's lovely. But found in the end by VKL. This man's on a mission, and that mission isn't over just yet. It's the last two players for Prophecy try and find an avenue of approach, but in my eyes, I've got to say it, Envy are playing a way better game than Prophecy. Yep. Very well-rounded. You can see why this is a good map for them, is all I'm going to say. They seem very well versed here. This could be a very different display when we get onto cash. Things could change, even up, look a little different. But for this map, I've got to say, T-side-wise, Envy have been impressive. A nice look to them. But for Prophecy, again, it just feels like they've never had good money. It feels like their money is consistently broken.
Yeah, well, it's just been the sort of on and off for them at the moment, where it's, okay, we have 1 round buy, we have 1 round save, 1 round buy, and then they finally win a round and they get reset to have 2 rounds of not buying. So it is a really bad condition for them at the moment, and I think we're going to need to see something incredible for one of these individuals. This happened before. Kelly did a 1v5 on Train, and they all woke up. We saw Kolor come into the game. The confidence just started to brew within this team. So far, we haven't seen any of those sort of plays. Well, we had the one from Kolor with the CZ that won them around, but that didn't seem to kickstart anything, really. In the next buy round, they just fell to the entry fragger of VKL. Not to take anything away from him, but even so.
I will say that they've done a lot of damage. You look at Hadji, you look at Lambert, both down to incredibly low HP, so basically a one-shot for any of the guns on the table so far, even Kola. So again, that puts a little bit of issue there. That actually slows down Envy more than anything, I can imagine. Them just being very cautious, being very hesitant. Don't want to lose out on that incredibly expensive weaponry they've invested in. So you can see already, they are starting to head right back around towards B. The bomb's yet to head over. Still on the map, so he has to be picked up. Good work from Jax there. Going to open up towards A, cause a little bit of a shift in the CT side. They need to respond accordingly, or maybe just leave Slap there with the Deagle. That's all you're going to get, but maybe that's all they need. Jax will fall, and now, oh, that beautiful Slap! And he's still left with another low HP member. Lambert down to 14, very vulnerable. 28 seconds, the rotate's in place. Prophecy, you're going to do it again. Kali's going to just dive right in, but VKL is there, keeping this together at the very seams, and 20 seconds now remains, and Quicks and Arch have to do it all.
Yeah, down to just 15 seconds, but the bomb is going to be planted. Arch has managed to retrieve a rifle, but he doesn't have himself any armor, so it has to be instant shots. There's an AWP by your feet, but I guess he's not made the shot, and he will lose his head instead. Nice from Quicks. That's another. Bringing it into the 1v1, but he doesn't have a kit. He's got to get his running shoes on. 10 bullets is all that remains in the clip, but it's enough. Quicks wins the round for his team, and again, it's pistols. They can't win with rifles, but this CZ is doing great work.
They are very good with it, aren't they? But again,
they've been on those pistol DMs.
They have been. They've been in the hours, but the problem is that if you're only winning on these pistols, frustrating I can imagine for Envy, but Slap here was just second to none. Look at these shots coming through. Brilliant work from him. Quicks as well with the CZ.
I don't understand how people do this.
Have you not met Flusher before?
No, I have, but I don't understand how he does it either. Like, because I pick up that weapon and I've run out of bullets within 8 seconds.
And that's saying, I think the scoreline's a little bit. It puts in a different skew, doesn't it? You look at 5, yeah. I think close half. Really, in the rounds, quote unquote, that matter, it's not been. But now we finally see a double AWP coming out for Prophecy, so double that big firepower coming through. But Hachi's having none of it. Already going to remove one away from the mix. A Slap now next in line.
Close on the site, but already gone. Kolor gets one back, but it's down to Quicks on the site. Goes down as well, and it's all down to Kolor once again. 1v4. Not really any chance in the situation. Spots one, doesn't manage to connect the shot, and just tries to escape. That's a nice little flick. Unfortunately, it's not a little bit sooner in the round, because it's just exit frags at this point. Doesn't really benefit whatsoever, and if you actually look at this, every rifle round has been won by Envy.
Absolutely, yeah.
Every one.
There's been a couple of close ones, but the vast majority have been pretty convincing. I don't know what to say to Prophecy. The thing is that their lifeline basically depends on getting that pistol round in the second half. They look like they're pretty good at it, but they are very much banking on it. And Kolor there, waiting to see if anyone else will present. So, be a little cautious. He wants to keep this gun into that final round of the first half. Bear in mind, the Envy, I can imagine they're frustrated losing out rounds like that. At the end of the day, if you're being able to win against the rifles, you shouldn't be losing to the pistols. But at the end of the day, they recover very, very well.
Well, yeah, this should be a 12-3 half for them, if anything, because they've been so good in these rifle rounds that they've deserved it. I'd love to see Kolor actually just go over to that plat position and just turret up, because that's been their problem at the moment. He's already getting spammed down. He doesn't last within, what, 10 seconds of the round? He's already gone, so Orb's going to be picked up from Quicks. He's going to have a go with it instead. That's the worst start to this final round that they could have had.
Now what do they have? So Quicks has got the AWP, and he's going to take that one up towards long. They still play close towards middle, so this actually might give Envy a little bit of false courage almost. Okay, well, we took one away from Ace, so surely there's only one here somewhere. Arch, a little slower on the trigger, but he gets the job done. Takes a wide swing, tries to catch him off guard, but no, Lambert is there. But the danger man now is Quicks and Slap. If they're able to get something achieved between the two of them, certain potential available. And Quicks is falling back to sight. He's not seen anything. Scout gonna cover the footstep drop as he leaps down towards the lower levels. He starts to work his way around. Cali hit. going to be that. Oh, look at this play. That's lovely. Oh, Envyus absolutely outgaming them 1 by 1, systematically destroying them. That's a very solid T-side, I have to say. A couple of issues with losing to those pistols. Certainly something to look over, but that's not, I wouldn't say an easy fix. If it's an easy fix, you'd fix it during the round, right? But out of all the things that could go wrong, that's not bad. I'm okay with that. You can watch your demo back, you can watch your game back later and go, all right, we just need to tighten up in those anti-eco rounds, no problem. But overall, not quite what I expected from Prophecy.
No, even sort of in individual battles, we've been seeing them getting outgunned by the Envyus side, which is very promising, because that's sort of the great thing about putting an international mixed team together. Individually, they're supposed to be very good, but in that game, Kolor had a couple of moments, but more with the pistol than the AWP, which, considering how heavy an investment it is, I think we need to see more from that. We had the one round where they sort of pushed onto A, but all he did was get 1 kill and a tag, and when you're the only player on the site, it has to be more. It's a lot of pressure, but it does have to be more.
Yeah, and I don't like people playing that passive when it's a 4-1. There's very few people who can do it, and I think Snacks is one of them. There's a couple of very specific players who can do it like that, but I prefer people playing either up by danger, a little bit, do a little bit of a run through middle, come back up danger, and just so you can spot things out, so you get some information, so you're not just playing blind. But we're into the second half now. 10-5 is the scoreline. Envy still in the lead, but if it's true to trend today, we know that it's not the CT sides that have always been the easiest time for teams. There's been a couple of awkward moments between both of these teams, and well, not both of these teams, but the teams prior. So I'm curious as to see how well these guys perform now they are on that CT side, if they show that kind of higher tier, quote-unquote, class that we've seen, or if it subsides. Lovely set smoke there coming out for Slap. I think that heads over towards B. The NIP smoke as such, you can go down towards the doors and just cut it off, allow you to play up of your own accord. Quicks there going to do the early damage towards Lambert, but already VKL is on the case.
Ooh, nice second shot as well. Bomb already dropped, so that will have to be retrieved at some point. Calais trying to do something here, but they get shut down 1 by 1, and Quicks falls as well. Pistol goes the way of Envy. They now have that strong CT start as well, and if anything to go by, they've won every single gun round. This is scary.
Yeah, Prophecy don't look too gutted yet.
That was supposed to be the one round they're good at.
Yeah. Maybe it's just, not with Glocks. All right, now they get the upgraded ones.
Now, okay.
Now they'll be fine.
So if they lose this one, then we're scared.
Well, then it's over. No, it's absolutely not. But as I said, if you go to what we saw in the first half, we'd kind of hope them to do a little bit more here. But Envy have come out.
This is something that like the Envy main team do as well. Lots of SMGs. They love their SMGs. And only 1 rifle. So quite risky considering all the Tech 9s are coming in.
Yeah, sometimes to their own detriment, of course.
Yeah.
The Envy buy discussion, always an interesting one.
It can work great.
When it works, it's the best thing in the world. When it doesn't work, you look like an idiot.
Wow.
So it's a risky gamble, isn't it?
Well, we get to see. We get to see if the Academy team have got it perfected. Either way, Jax is going to be the first guy on site, the only rifle, and already Kolor starting off with those pistols. Once again, he's got himself 3, Arch with another, and, well, Haji, you got an MP9, 4 players to find, and you're smoked off. He's got Mr. Krabs for company, though.
Shows a little leg. Haji's going to have him. Nothing more, though. Color there going to shut it down, and this is the problem. If you go on those investments, you do have rounds to play with, sure, but you also just want to close out the game. If you unleash teams like Prophecy, who are, I have yet to see them being this individual powerhouse, the aimers that people like to kind of tout with their name, which I certainly don't dispute. I can imagine it being there. If they get going on the T side, you see a lot of individuals have a lot of performance. And
over.
Why? See, they're so... What year is this, and why have we gone back to Envy from last year?
I like a good shotgun. XM's my personal favourite.
Oh, the Nova. If you don't know why I'm doing this, you don't normally buy these guns. These are...
Well, speak for yourself. But I normally do buy these guns.
At this level of gaming.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You don't buy these guns. They're a little bit weird. They're a little bit broken in the fact they're just not quite as powerful. They don't normally, I guess, give you that many opportunities. They're very one-dimensional. The shotgun, great up close.
I may be the one called Thomas, but you're the one who's doubting.
Wow.
Jesus reference.
Wow.
Scale, I like it. Let's go. Let's go.
You're a believer, are you?
Yeah, until he fails, and then not so much.
Right. What happens when they lose control of A?
Retake Nova. Yeah, no, I can't
right.
pick that one up.
Cool. Well, let's hope they keep control of it. The problem is the player who's up on long right now, which is Hadji. He's just banking on timing. He's just hoping that by the time they think about it, I'll be there. Okay, CZs are OP. Again, what year is this? We've gone back to the years of CZs being so good. Slap, the ultimate timing, as said. Hadji, that was all timing to him. Quick rotate's going to come. You can see Prophecy instantly working off the back of it, heading right around towards A, just because Slap's so far ahead of the curve. Molotov's going to come in and light the floor of fire, as VKL are going to have to just accept fate, and we get to see that infamous Nova retake.
I think they're going to save it, because obviously it's such a prominent weapon that you want to keep into the next round.
How many kills has he got on this? Oh, 58.
He probably bought it like yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Absolutely.
He's been pracking. Obviously bot kills don't count, so he's got at least 4,000 of those. And yeah, I can't really bring this on much longer, I'll be honest.
Bearing in mind, like normal guns, if you look at the stat track kills on those of like maybe an 8K of like a semi-pro to a pro player.
Yeah, I think like Shroud,
hundreds
AK
of thousands.
Is ridiculous. Screams is
Screams are the same.
All one taps, of course.
Of course. True to brand.
But yeah, I wouldn't want to damage the Envy brand while they're sat in the room. I think that's a dangerous game to play.
No, you might get a free Prophecy t-shirt out of it though.
I don't know. I quite like a Scream mouse.
Yeah. You're selling out as hard as you can. I'd like anything free.
I do. Yeah, I do. Well, that's British.
Yeah, that's true.
That is. Like, British people like anything that's free.
Absolutely. Any giveaway. Ooh, that'd be nice.
Anyway, they did keep a little bit back. It's not going to be anything too impressive.
The Nova.
The Nova's still going. I'm waiting.
Gosh.
He's got 20 kills so far. So
look, I might be a converted believer at this point.
No, like, it's $900. It's a nice little return if he does manage to get himself a kill, and I'm hoping he does. I like seeing these shotguns in play. Either way, there are a couple of players around that drop area, so maybe he will get some love soon.
Slap's really coming into his own in the last couple of rounds. His kills aren't exactly the quote-unquote hardest to get, because they do have the advantage of weaponry and the majority of everything else. However, it's good when one player starts to really respond to it. If he starts to feel confident, you can see them kind of go off and start to build off the back of it.
Yeah, this is where, well, especially T-side Cobble, individuals have shined on this map for a long, long time. Or shone, maybe. But, yeah, I'm like, obviously the Olov sort of play where he used to just run out onto plant and be able to find headshots. We saw a little bit of that from VKL, and I reckon that if Prophecy can get themselves rolling in the same sort of way, Envy themselves said the T-side is their strongest side. It was very strong. I was impressed by every single gun round going their way. But now we get to see if they can do that soon, at least, next round, where they finally have their buy. For now, it's going to look to be that clean out. 40 seconds left on the clock. Prophecy not wasting anywhere near as much time. Not playing anything to chance, but nope, never mind. VKL goes down before I can even build any sort of hype around that CZ.
Jax, you can see,
I didn't even see the
focus. Yeah, tried to play retake, I think, off balcony. It went really well.
No.
Jax looking to do any damage possible. One kill. Not brilliant.
$600?
And look at what you're against, though. Look how much Slap's got money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's building up some bank, isn't he? 10 grand sitting on him, so he can get whatever he wants.
I want to know what's in that notepad. Super secret strats.
Have they got that written on it?
No, I couldn't read what it said in it, and it probably would be in French, I'd imagine.
I'm pretty sure. I can't remember who has it. I'm wondering if it's Happy at some point had super secret strat on their notepad. Mine doesn't say that.
Either way, aggressive push. Obviously, keeping those SMGs, they want some bonus money on Prophecy. Which does mean the better buy does sort of sit with the other side. But look, they managed to just run all the way into this A site, but it gives a perfect flank for Lambert. He can already sort of start this retake before they even begin. Try and hold on from behind. The rest of the players already rotating right in, but 1 minute 20, bombs down.
Let's see how well Prophecy hold on to this. This should be theirs. They've got 5 alive, bomb ticking in their favor, but certainly a lot of fighting ahead of them. Slap looking for the first challenger, and you can see the Prophecy members trying to find out that basically solo man, and there goes Lambert. Sadly, about as useful as a chocolate teapot at that point. Completely and utterly melt. Slap as well, can defend it off. A 4-man save's about to come in because they don't want to lose those rifles.
Yeah, and one picked up, a nice free upgrade for Prophecy from an SMG to an M4, and they could even do it again. They could just go for a bonus of the bonus. Not something you ever really see because you expect to lose some players, okay. well, there's the first. That will just be a rebuy of an AK, and we've already spoken about how much money Slap has in the bank, so I don't think he's going to be crying over that one. And yeah, this is a great situation now for a Prophecy going forward. Obviously, from Envy's perspective, they kept most of their players alive as well, so all this really means is a rebuy, they drop one weapon, and then the rest of the players just have more utility.
Prophecy starting to look a little bit more lively. Starting to believe in themselves here, 9-11. I don't really blame them. They've been looking very good on this T side. A good utility for the CTs this time. May not be overrun, able to put a little bit of that stopping power into place. So Prophecy swiftly working their way through theirs as they're down to Molotovs and smokes already. Quicks with that first opportunity to draw blood, but no one really presenting from the CT side.
Purchasing up the AWP into this round, so he's going to just play the pretty much hold role. If they can set him up on plat, that'll be perfect, the ideal position for sort of any AWPer to just rattle off shots. But for now, again, it's sort of that deep play coming out from the CT side on A, which means that if they do hit B, the rotations are going to be so far behind, and those three players are going to have to do an incredible job. As we see the push now coming in, not a lot of utility expended, meaning Jax can just stay above, holding on the tree, already gets one, a second comes out from his teammates, but the trades are quick through drop, not holding it properly. Quicks managing another into the 2v2, and this is how slow those rotations were. Lambert has just made it onto the scene.
Just faked it. Oh, it did. Maybe, I wonder if there's an additional player on the site, maybe a little bit overly nervous, but Cully goes peek out wide. He gives that one up. Had she given this? But it's Quicks. He's got a molly. They don't have a smoke. So that becomes an issue. If he puts that down on the bomb, they will burn alive on this. Quicks has it all to do. He has to get that molly up. He has to get the kill. And he misses. This is a disaster. Goes back in. Molly goes in, though. This could be it. They could still burn alive on this one. A kit on Lambert. He's going to just stick it out. Has he got the HP? 25 HP. 2 seconds. They're fine. Envy balance out the time well. They don't panic in the end, and they keep it together.
I think they would have had it anyway without standing in the flames. Just made it a little bit more dramatic, didn't it?
Make it look a little bit scary, you know?
Just like not looking at explosions.
Look, did you not see what happened to COG recently with Kusta?
Yes, I did.
So, you know, even without Molotovs, there's a lot of scariness out there, you know?
Both have kits. And also that was more just stupidity than anything else, but...
How dare you say that about NA's Hope? Leave
Kusta
alone.
I can't be mean to my dad.
Is Jason your dad?
Looks-wise, maybe. I heard it quite a bit.
Oh, and sure, I bring that up. Jason, I know your son today. Underhand flash goes in. G not given any targets yet, but spots a lot out. Time to run away. Back away, find a bit of safety, but he finds another opponent and he wins. Ali, what's going on here? Overwhelmed eventually. The nade does the job as I feel as though he might be able to do some more damage there, but now Lambert has to prepare. Batten down the hatches. The T side might just work their way in, but no, they hit the brakes for a second.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade normally benefits that T side, but a decent amount of damage done onto Kolor. Not a lot of utility left already, though, for the CT side. They've got 2 flashbangs. They've just thrown out their final smoke. Still have the kits available if a retake is necessary, but after the early aggression, the slowdown from the Ts normally banks out a bit of a rotation, but lovely flash. Catches out Quicks. They know there's still presence over towards the A side of the map, but a lot of the time you see one player left. So you have to wonder whether they'll actually be baited into some sort of rotation, especially now that Slap is going to start throwing in utility. Finds the kill as well. That's going to make things a little bit more interesting now for this CT side, who may be tempted to rotate.
Let's keep our eyes on Lambert, see where he goes to. It looks like he's over-responding a little to this. Skell given a great deal to handle. He walks in, he sees it all, but it's a bit too late now. They already pulled themselves off the site. Envy getting a little ahead of themselves here. Smoke goes in. Timing! Oh, it's lovely, Arch! He gets picked up 10 seconds now. They've got to go for this. Bomb's going to go in, but they can isolate these players. They can work quickly. Slap knows he has to play bodyguard here. High flash allows for Kola to play out from this one, and he's going to do it. He takes the fight. Dangerous times, a trade. And now 1v1 Lambert up against Slap.
He's got the AWP. Doesn't actually know where Slap is, but could have seen the direction of the gun. He's just going to go straight for the defuse. Peeks out and missed shots from Slap. Give the round over to Lambert. Clutch in. A rifle does the job. and just about holding on to it, but very, very close. And I have to question, like, Kolor loves to go aggressive in afterplants. At both times now, we've seen that sort of position. He always peaks.
And you need so much synergy for it. If you look at how Big have been playing recently, the German side based out of Berlin, those guys, if you look at the timing of Legia's flashes to set up Tabson, for example, perfect synergy, and they work on that. They work on that for months to get that perfect timing. As soon as I flash you and you know you've got it at your back, whatever you need, I'll be able to support you. To play out of situations aggressively, you've got to be, you know, absolutely perfect to the second. Now, that's a little bit missing there. It wasn't quite to the point they'd like, and you can see a slight disparity. He's left on the wide swing without anyone actually fighting. So he gets the 1-for-1 trade. Not quite as he'd like to leave it in the 1v1 clutch, but for now, very close plays from Prophecy. They could be going for a quick hit off the back of this now.
It helps that Tabson doesn't miss as well. VKL, close. They're going to go running through the smoke. Finds one, but actually gets traded out. Jax with one more on the side, doing the damage with a second. But again, it's that AWP of Kolor to be able to bring things back. Goes for the plant. Flashbang leaves Khaled completely blind, but he still holds on to his teammate. Holds that ground and turns it into a 2 versus 2. He's going to try and reposition. Find another angle so that they can get that bomb down safely. Lambert is getting close. Trying to use that P250. Again, it's the peak, but this time the flash is on point. Both left blind. Lambert coming around the corner, actually turns it in. Goes for the AWP. Through the box! Ridiculous shot. A clutch from him once again. And 2 rounds in a row. Envy steal it away.
That's so perfect. Did you see him as well? He knows the opponent's going to be so mad at that. You know they're frustrated. You can see how deflated they look. They had the comeback. They started to build up. They started to feel confident. And then this is good. This is nice. Okay, P250, lovely. He knows he's behind the box and he just takes the gamblers to where, lands it. And you know that's just how you get back into a game mentally. You had a close beginning for Prophecy, really nice T-side. Slaps kicking off. He's looking second to none. Moments like that can break a team.
Yeah, especially 2 in a row. 2 in a row where it's gone down to the 1v1 and both times they've lost it, but actually goes for the aggressive peek, and Kolor's not done just yet. He's found another opening pick with that AWP, and this is where a lot of teams will get stuck in their rotations, have to play gamble strategies. They do have a man all the way to the back of the site. It's actually with a UMP, so it has to be a hidden tactic.
But I like this. They're going to prop up Lambert over by B, basically leaving to Plat. You've got a quick-ish rotate in Skell over by Window, and he can kind of play off the rotate position, and they're going to commit the other rifle player, or whoever's left over towards A. It's a nice way to approach it, because you know Lambert's an early warning system. He can get 1 kill, back away, buy some time, allow the player to drop to prepare. This is nice. Jax is going to get up close. I don't know if I like this spot. It's a little one and done for me. That's what it is. It doesn't give you that kind of room to back away, adjust. You're hoping that they make mistakes down the line. Is there a flash coming in for him? Is he going in full on? Yes, he is. Jax is going in for this, and that's a bit of an error. And well, VKL is there to save the day, but you're down to 40 seconds. They know what's happening. Now they can get the rotate on, but it's a dangerous play, and they might have just gambled incorrectly here.
Skell needed to find that kill to give them a way back into that round. It's going up every time. A 1v1, a 1v2, 1v4 might be a little bit too much.
Yeah, that... I don't mind the late round information play, but it's brave, it's risky, and you know you're always going to be down to that kind of pretty much a 50-50, no matter how you approach it. Lambert trying to keep hold of this AWP. Again, money's not going to be phenomenal for Envy. They have had these close clutch rounds, which doesn't work well for Economy on the CT side. Needs to hit these shots, needs to stay alive. He knows it. He's surrounded on all fronts, though. Players left, right, and oh, he's doing everything he can. But eventually, Color finds him. Not going to go down without a fight, however. But Prophecy recover. But now we need to see the money for Envy. This is where it gets a little serious for them, because their money will be depleted somewhat. And Prophecy, they've started, bomb plants coming in. Sure, clutches have been unfavorable, but they should have the better money in this situation.
Yeah, it should be ruined. They've only had 1 player alive for the last 2 rounds, so yeah, it's back to pistols. They've been pretty good with them. Well, actually, Prophecy have been the one who's been pretty good with them so far, so we'll have to see. Will it transfer? They did do well going into the second round with the sort of CZ buys. We've seen both teams do very well with the CZ. They've gone a little bit aggressive over towards that A side of the map at the moment. 2 players on B. Both teams doing this quite a bit, where it's more of a gamble over towards A. I suppose a stack on B a lot of the time is only really adding 1 or 2 players, which, as a stack, it's not really that beneficial.
And also, you're more than likely to find solo 1 or 2 players by A. So you might be able to pick up something. Skull there with the Zeus. up close enough, it works. Have we got almost a 3-man stack?
No.
It looked like it did. I was like, wait a second, it is getting late here. It's only a 2-man stack above the smoke. But Slap's going to find Lambert, and this should be a clean round, but Hadji's found Slap. Where's the trade? He's wondering now. Hadji, what is that? Finds Cali. That's a disaster for the T side. It's fallen apart here. Now going to make them encourage them to go faster, and that's where mistakes happen. Color, though, keeps it together, keeps calm, lands the shot. Down to 3v3. Quicks is low, so there's still danger afoot. And
Hadji has himself the rifle, so that's... He could be the man. He could be the man to turn this round back around for the CT side. They're already back in play. They're actually attempting to go for the boost to get back in from behind. Make that rotation. Zeus gonna come in. It does damage, but it doesn't quite manage the kill. Still leaves Arch very low on HP, down to just 12, and Kolor is now gonna have most of the work to do. Arch, he gets one, is quickly traded, and it's all onto this AWP. He's been doing well so far. Needs to find this pick on the man behind. Can't be baited into a shot. It's actually gonna go peeking back around. Players going together now. Misses the shot, down to just 7 HP. Managing to get around for a second, but it's another clutch. A pistol round win for Envy, and they're going to hit map point. Defuse will be close, but it will be theirs. Nicely done to Envy, and the play on A long then. I don't know how Hadji pulled that off. First kill was impressive, the second. Kelly just waiting for it. Okay, yeah. Okay. Oh, hello. Oh, okay. And here it is again. It's easy to hand. First one, okay, I'll let that happen. Second one here. Oh, crisp as you like. And then plays in so well. Wasn't too passive on the flank. I know a lot of people will criticize certain French players for their passive lurks. Happy, you know, the guy Happy is, you know, one of those hit and miss plays. He can either have the most impact in the world from it, or absolutely nothing. They can cost around. That was a brilliant bit of quick play, and look at this. They wanted it all themselves here. Jax is right up in their faces. Color goes down. We're down to 4 players now for Prophecy. They need this to stay in the game. 15, of course, is map point, match point. It's a best of 2 and adds insult to injury. This is just a display of dominance as Envy keep the 5 alive. Jax claims 3, and it's down to Slap and Cali. Yeah, Jax has had enough of just normal Counter-Strike and has gone full YOLO modes, just running straight up onto plat. Leaves, as you said, Cali and Slap. Pushing in, Skell, easy frag, no trade available, and Envy, their buy rounds were pretty much incredible, especially on that T side. And once they got rolling, once they got clutching, hello Lambert, it was just done. No, there was a lot of individual moments even for Envy that came in on that Hadji at the very end. Jax with the old VKL, we saw what every on the
single
T
player.
Side. It feels so long ago.
It does feel like a lifetime ago, but every single player from that Envy side showed some real potential throughout that in a bigger dynamic than I feel that maybe Prophecy did. But again, that was Envy's map choice. So that's not too surprising. We kind of have to expect that sort of thing. We were kind of hoping for that, but then Cash opens up new opportunities. So that is one thing I'm incredibly excited for. But before we get there, we need to hear what the analysis desk thought about that game, because we've heard enough of our thoughts for now. So guys, what was your take on that one?
Well, thank you very much, Pansy. And Tom Biz, well, it lived up to the billing. What a great match that was. Prophecy versus Team Envyus. So there you have it. Envyus take Cobble. The prediction is that Cash will be taken by Prophecy, but I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll have a quick break. When we come back, we'll have all the analysis. Do not go anywhere. It is week 3 of the Elite Series, match 4 of the day, a very exciting one, a battle of the unbeatens. You are seeing some of the images taken from map, which was Cobblestone, and a map with lots of fascinating clutches. 16-10 it finished to the currently still unbeaten Envyus. Prophecy losing their first map there. How do you think that will be sort of playing havoc on their minds, or will it, or they just sort of get on with it and move on?
I feel like it kind of depends if they'd done some research into it and expected to get more of it. Like obviously, they expected to have Cobble get picked. I feel like that was a no-brainer. But it's a case of, did they expect to get more out of this? Like, that game was awfully close. Like, you mentioned the clutches, there's like eco runs getting, like, both teams got ecoed multiple times. Very, very close game. But did they expect to get more, is basically the question I'd want to ask.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Harold?
I think if I was them, I'd be pretty happy with the performance. You know, they put up a good, a pretty good standing against a team like Envyus. Of course, first half wasn't very strong. If they'd had a better first half, maybe they had more of a chance going into that one. But at the end of the day, there's positives to take from that game. And going really into the second map, Cash, that's going to be the key talking point. Because of course, if they can win that, they stay even. You know, the standings don't change. They stay at the top. So really, if I'm Prophecy going into this game, I'm thinking, right, okay, we lost the game. We made it close. We weren't expecting to win, but we made it close. We put it to the wall. Now going on to Cash, they have an opportunity to take the map and to take it decisively. So I think it's a pretty good performance from Prophecy so far, and I don't think this is over. Yeah,
we were definitely saying, I mean, they've got the chance now to really reset, just gather their thoughts and go out again into the chosen map that they went for with Cash. I mean, but the scoreline doesn't really suggest how close it was at times. I mean, the likes of Haji not really being one of the best performers for them. The actual person that got the most skills was Petty Scale, 24, then V-Kill got 21, and then Jax with 20. I mean, at the last game there to win the match, it's fantastic, just popping off shots left, right, and centre. They're the real person to stand out for Prophecy. 23 kills for Color. So who can step up for Prophecy on the map, Cash?
I feel like it's got to be an overall team step up, really. Like, obviously, you've got Kolar, he can always get you 20+ kills every map. He's that confident AWP, he can, out-AWP Lambert, for example, in this situation. He's very confident, he does what he wants. But the rest of the team needs to be able to get up there with him. Like, if your team isn't there with you, there's no point really trying.
And what are the key areas for winning the map, Cash, Harold? Where does that sort of lie?
Well, of course, mid, very important, but the sites also, whereas on Mirage, mid control is absolutely key. If you don't have mid control, you're going to struggle to win a round. On Cash, you have a little bit more flexibility with that. You can go for the set executes, you can go for some set plays. You have a lot more opportunity, really, to try and get into those sites in a creative way. But you also have that mid control, and with a strong AWP like Kolar, I think that Prophecy should be going for some strong mid control, trying to take control of the area. And once they have control, then they can play with the mind of Envyus. They can start to put in the fragging power, the skill, and play with the enemy's tactics, sort of throw a spanner in the works there.
And Essia, I mean, Cash, great map. You said that they would go for this. It should be Prophecies then, really. If they've been cracking on this one the most, then it should be in their hands, really, to win.
Yeah, I feel because in my mind it's a curveball, obviously, the actual pick itself. They expect, Envy thought they'd pick Train, and then Cash has been picked. So I feel like they're ready to play this. Like, they've been ready the past week or so, maybe longer. Who knows how long they've been actually prepping to play Envy. But I feel like it is their map to go for. Like, they're doing now, it's all in their hands. They can definitely win this. They have the firepower, they have the fragging power, they have everything they can and need to actually win it. And
they must do it, they must deliver now. Putting you on a spot, Essio, who are you going to go for on this one? You did say Cash were going to win this. Are you sticking with Cash for this map? Are you sticking with Prophecy for Cash? Yeah.
I feel like it definitely still will be a close game, but based on that performance just then, I feel like Envy were a step above still.
Oh, he's changing it. He's changing it.
So I'm thinking Envy will take it, but it might be like 16-14 possibly. Maybe overtime. Past 2 Cash games we've seen have been overtime, so...
OK, and what about yourself, Harold? Prediction for this map, which is Cash. Is it going to be Prophecy, or is it going to be Envyus taking that 2-0?
I'm not changing my mind. I think this is going to be a Prophecy win. OK, lovely stuff. Well, you've heard it from us on the little panel desk. Over to Pansy and Tom Biz. What do you reckon? Are you still reckoning it's going to happen for you, Pansy? What was your prediction at the beginning?
2-0 to Envy.
OK, so that still could potentially happen.
Me and Harold have united. I'm sticking 1-1.
You're sticking in the
one? I can't believe you're brave now. I'm so brave. So right on the middle of that fence.
Well,
you went for the crazy prediction, Pansy. You were like, because if he doesn't come off, your words were exactly.
Research.
SEO's been.
Where did you get that pad from? Where is the stationery cupboard? I have not been given a pad as glorious as that. It's gone down.
Gone now.
Listen,
doesn't exist anymore.
We weren't meant to know
Pansy,
about
Tom Beers, this is going to be a brilliant map, Cash, with Envyus versus Prophecy. I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Thank you so much, and yeah, this is going to be a good one. Looking at how this is unraveled so far, I do need to actually get my notepad, so I'm going to just grab that. But you can tell us how good this map's going to be, because it's Cash between these two.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to just like the sort of individual plays, because from what we saw in the last map, in terms of clutches, there was so much that changed the game. The couple of Lambert clutches towards the end, although he wasn't sort of at the top of the board, sort of the mad fragger for the team, those 2 rounds are so impactful. They lose either one and they get reset, and then who knows what happens from there. Prophecy were doing well up until that point over on their T side, so if they can have that same sort of impact play, or he can, obviously he's the AWPer for the team. A lot of the time on Cash we see a switch up, like having that aggression over towards B is quite common, but it really can be played anywhere. It's one of those maps where dynamic AWPing is just prominent.
Yeah, there's so an opportunity for Prophecy. I felt that they did start to warm up towards the end of that game. I wasn't so impressed with so many of the rounds that they won being purely off of pistols. But again, that's another fault with Envy that they allowed that to happen. But I think the scoreline was a little bit misleading, but as said on the desk, I think the level of CS we saw from Envy on that map was a little higher, but I don't know how fluent they'll be on this one. I don't know if Envy can come in with the same approach, if they have the same mentality, if they have the same fluidity and, I guess, depth to their kind of playbook, I guess. Because that's what you want, is teams who have that depth to go to. You don't want just that one look. That's why a team who generally plays against higher tier, the tier 1 teams or tier 2 teams, should have more depth to change up their plans. If they ever get exploited for playing a certain way, they'll get punished for it. So you have to learn to get better. So maybe it will apply here, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, either way, it looks like we are going straight into our pistol round. Lambert with a little bit of utility to start, which I always like to see. Especially when, well, if it's only one player, it's likely... Actually, it could be thrown over towards A. So I like to see a Molotov if they're going to go towards A, but at least for now... Oh, did we just jump? Looking like it's now onto the site, and they've taken quite a bit more of the control. Either way, looking over towards his T side, they have a retake strategy coming in for the CTs. Quicks going to be just holding that cross, waiting for any sort of pressure to come in early on, and the rest of the team are very heavily set over towards that B site. A little bit of presence in mid as well from Arch, and the kit firmly sat on B just waiting. And well, Envy, again, looking like they're going to play things very, very slow in this situation. Just wait to see if the CTs are going to rotate in any sort of way.
Yeah, full retake from Prophecy at this point. And this is the most Envy-like pistol round. Smoke out towards Forklift. They don't go outdoor like the normal Envy team do, but just head on through. Why not? Bring the Glocks to the perfect range. Plant for main, that's interesting. So they're going to plant for the main position that you can see Skell heading towards now. He's got support there too, but that might be why the Deagle. The Glocks don't play so well to that range, but 2 players playing retake. VKL might need some support too.
Oh, nice shot from VKL, and he needs no support. Finds 2 from main. They do still have a smoke and a kit though, which could make things a little bit more interesting. Haji tapping away, but it's not him finding the kills. It's Jax. He's finishing as, or beginning as he finished on the previous map, and it will be the pistol going the way of Envy. So good at pistols in second rounds, not so much in the first.
You can see this was just pivotal. If those 2 players got away with any more, because they'd already killed his teammate behind it, that could have changed everything there. But again, we see the I like SMGs and I choose nothing else approach. Do you like this, Tom?
No, it makes me scared. But a little bit of more of a reserve.
You're human, just very nervous.
Yeah, I'm on edge the whole time. But yeah, not overly investing in the CT side, saving a little bit more money for the nades going into the next round. Kolor wants his AWP, and Kolor gets what he wants.
Please check on this.
Yeah, there we go. SMG up close over towards that B site. Not surprising that this is the direction they head.
Oh, this is lovely from Envy. This, I hate to say, but this looks like one of the old French executes that I remember casting with Sean Guers, and he just got completely and utterly in love with, that they used to do on their T sides when Envy was still in their strong suit with Kenny S and such, and all of that lot. They'd have these beautiful plays coming through where they'd take over the sides with mollies, and they'd do this against pistols.
Ooh, we're going for a running boost already. Never mind. Disappointed. Attempt 2.
But still, I've got to... Envy looked good on this. Just from these few rounds, nice work. That's going to catch him off guard. Don't expect that.
Love it.
But yeah, if this is Envy's bread and butter, okay, this is our anti-eco. This is pretty good, but that's a nice shot.
Yeah, nice shot from Slap. At least takes one down. Extra $300 in the bank for him. We already know he's saving a little bit more cash. T-side. Oh, they've only lost one SMG. Scale actually only went for a Tech 9. I say only. Still pretty powerful pistol, but when the same's on the other side, you are taking a little bit of a risk, but the risk has been rewarded in this sense, at least. We didn't see the sort of same problems of before, where they actually ended up losing that second round, and, well, strong start already. Is this the... Oh, why?
That was a failed one.
Why?
So you've got to show them, you know, learning and getting better. Boop. And look at the knife name. It makes sense. It's called Unlucky. But I like that little run boost. It's nice. You just get an angle that no one predicts. It's always enjoyable. But there was a timeout called in here, so that's why we got to have a little look at that again.
Is it the same again?
It's got to be a technical. It's got to be technical.
I'm waiting for the... Okay.
It had to be.
Okay.
I'm not taking a tactical pause at round 3. I'm not having it. I don't care who you are, Prophecy. Behave. But all is sorted. Their money's still pretty much gone here at this point, but it's fine. You can just live through these rounds. They've gone for an A stack, and I don't mind that. You've got to take a gamble, take a risk. And they do have that flash that you so enjoy. So they're ticking all the boxes.
Yeah, they've ticked everything. Now let's see if they can do any damage, or if Lambert is just going to be making extra money for that AWP. He's already spotted 2. A little bit of presence coming out on the other side of the map. Hadji, he's making that cash. $600 for him. Jack's just keeping aware of his back. He's got the one valuable weapon in this round, so if he loses that, they're going to be pretty unhappy. A small percentage chance. Lambert just running and gunning. He loves jumping and shooting, whereas I don't so much. But for now, at least, no damage done. There's the AK, even going aggressive, and, well, why not? Slap is still good for one with the Deeg and trying to dance around, but Jack, he's not a fan of dancing.
No?
No. I don't know
try and
that
dance
for sure.
with him, or was that Keo?
I know what you're talking about. Just weird reference there. I don't
He's a
understand.
French player, right?
I think you're the problem now.
Oh, what a spicy meme. Look at you go. You were waiting for that. But no, that was it's a good start for Envy. And for Prophecy as well, you just lost the last map. Even though it's close, you kind of want to get off to that good start, just to kind of prove yourself you're right back in the game. Going straight down 3-0, never fun, but it doesn't make a big deal in the grand scheme of things. It's recoverable, it's fine, you still get to come into the spy, but look at what Envy still have. I wonder if they're going to run that anti-eco round, and they are. Watch the mollies that come towards the site, but it's all a fake. It's all to set them up for this. You know, this is the plan, this is it. They've got to make sure they hear the MAC-10s, they see a player. You've got to commit at least minimum 1 player to this, otherwise they're not going to fall off of A.
Yeah, I always feel, again, on edge with these sort of plays, because if they don't fall for it, you're just going to hang the bomb out to dry. Push comes in. Kali actually has head armor, so that MAC-10...
They've caused the rotate, though. They've done pretty well.
Only one player here. Quicks with the rifle, spots it out, and it's still going to be quick enough to get back in play. Rotation does come out from the remaining T players, who almost get caught on the cross, but this does actually set them up for the afterplant position, although it's only going to be just on that corner. I think may be able to defuse that without actually going too far forward. Lambert, he's on the boost, has probably the worst weapon he could have for this boost, except maybe a Nova. I don't think that would be that great in this situation.
God. Maybe it's pretty good.
Oh, that is just luck. Like, you don't get much luckier than that catch.
Nah, he's just next level mind gamed him.
Okay, if you say so.
What? Watching the demos.
He's a genius, but Jax gets one. They know there's a second player behind. However, the bomb is ticking quick, and Quicks doesn't have himself a kit. Just trying to find what he can. Sprays one and a second, but Lambert with the Mac Daddy does it again. 2 kills for him. Money made as well. And the bonus round again pays off.
The amount of money they're going to have going forward is going to be ridiculous. They stayed on the MAC-10s, on the Tech 9s. They barely reinvested throughout. There's a lot of utilities been bought up, which is probably going to be the main, I guess, drain of money. But you're going to get away with rounds like this and showing that sort of depth on your T side. Fun Prophecy, I'm not so happy. Because you thought you were getting your map pick. You thought you were getting away with something here. Because normally it's been what? If I wasn't mistaken, it was Inferno normally those come in with Envy's choice. But they've just gone, yeah, we're pretty good on cash as well, boys. You've just seen this T side. Look at what we can do. It's lovely. So again, Prophecy, you've got to find an answer. I wouldn't mind a timeout down the line. Not now. Not too early. But down the line, not a bad thing to look towards.
Yeah, again, the MAC-10 survives.
Why not keep it? You know their money's screwed.
I think that's a different MAC-10. I think he just bought that one because Lambert's was the one who had the previous. So they've reinvested into MAC-10s, but it's extra money for VKL to try and make. 3 players without armor, all the players without any head armor. So it's still very much viable in this situation. And again, it's just falling back into a default, waiting to see if this aggression comes out. We saw it in the last couple of rounds where they tried to take a peek into A main. This time, much more passive from the CT side as well.
Envy gonna build towards A for now. Probably a commitment to follow. You do have Quicks here who could do so much damage unchecked on, and no one mollied it. That's sloppy. That's a mistake there. Jax is going to be punished for it in the end, and you can see again, he strikes quickly, and he strikes true. But the third is just that step too far away. It's left Arch with it all to do. A 1v3 is almost out of grasp here, but 30 seconds, maybe you could find a little something extra, but highly unlikely.
Yeah, they've been very good with this CZ, so maybe there's a little bit of a chance. Takes the range battle. The MAC-10 will still win. Can they keep it in for another round? Are we going to see that many MAC-10s in a row?
Well, if they keep the money like that.
Yeah, don't see why not. I feel like there were better weapons to probably pick up in that situation, as the rest of the team still had AKs, but maybe they are just the BM play or the money-making play. Yeah, MAC-10's still going. I like it. AWP, actually on Hadji as well, so they've switched it up. Lambert, I think this is all down to timing, just based off spawn over towards B. He's going to try and catch the aggressor. Spotting out that nobody's peeking that angle. The AWP of Kolor currently in mid.
Not exactly the smoothest trade-off there, but it will work in the end. I'm curious when they're going to put VKL. He could just be a man to trade off. He's got enough money.
He's a scout.
Yeah, essentially. Send him in, get the info, jump around, be annoying as hell. Get him into checkers where you can see the mollying off now, and then allow Jax to trade off the back of it. It just allows you, not an easy trade, but, you know, an expendable human, essentially. Smoke's going to go in. This is such a well-composed piece. Now they're going to hear that the MAC-10's there, but I don't know what they're going to do about it. What's the plan now from Prophecy?
Yeah, the big thing as well is if you're going to fake anything, a MAC-10 is probably the prime weapon to do it with. So a MAC-10 doesn't really give any information. They've actually boosted back into vent. Slap already low, and that's perfect. He actually gets a second while turning around as well. Jax with 2 opening kills. The MAC-10 playing a nice little distraction as well. And now they have mid control and a quick rotation through. They're already going to take over Z. There's only one man over towards this A side of the map. Quicks is there once again, trying his best to just slow anything down and jumps aggressive, and Jax gets his 3rd kill of the round. Now Kolor, he's been getting up to those 20 markers in the last map. First time he gets his AWP and it's gone. Arch, wow. 1v4, MAC-10's still there.
It's been upgraded.
Oh.
But I actually don't mind that sort of thing as well. Even if your other teammates die, you can pick up the guns they drop. Now, obviously this is the ideal thing that happens, right? You not only get to do good stuff with the MAC-10, but then you also get to pick up a rifle for free, but it doesn't often work out that way, but it does this round. It seems to have gone very well for VKL. They are trying to hunt, you know, they are going to try and hunt down Arch here as well. They can expend people towards it because his money's so weak. They can throw people at it because their money's so good, and his team's is just so broken that losing out on their gun is actually very important.
Yeah, this pocket pick
timeout should be coming in.
Yeah, I think I may have heard
I think there was the
timeout sound.
Yes.
Which now I completely agree with. It hasn't gone well so far.
Counter boost in vent. Ugh.
That was lovely. And he gets another one here, just to jump above, not caught out whatsoever by Quicks. And it's been a very strong start across the whole team as well, which is very, very scary.
And the scarier thing in the grand scheme of this is now, for all the other teams who are watching this playing in the Elite Series, you kind of thought maybe MV have a limited map pool, we've only seen 2. Now it's like, well, now they've got 3. What else do they have? I'm not saying this is the biggest example of them being, playing it incredibly well, but they're playing it to a very high standard. You've seen that very nice anti-eco round coming in, a couple of nice fake pieces, the counter boost over towards B. These aren't things that you can just instantly come up with. Sure, you can occasionally pull them off, but not against a team who's also flawless so far in the Elite Series. This is very impressive. So I've got to say, for the other teams watching, if this goes the way it is, right, and Cash is a good map for Envy.
Where'd you go?
Exactly. Where do you take these guys? Where do you think your place is? Because you'd have to go for a specialist pick, a tactical map like your nukes, your trains, but no one wants to play them. It feels. It doesn't feel as though they sit very well.
They left train in as well again, so they were pretty much prepared, I reckon, to play this. So I don't know, especially as you only get 2 bans. Yeah. That means you have to play one of these 3. Now it's early days.
Yeah, this
they're on the T side as well, where we've seen most rounds go so far. Even in the last map as well, it looked like the T side was starting to be a bit of a comeback until the heroics of Lambert shut them down. It's actually going to be pistols once again. So still not having enough money, even with the max loss bonus. I wonder how much cash they're actually going to have going into the next round. Maybe wanting a double op setup, or just wanting every single piece of utility available. But free middle for Jax. There's a play up towards Ven. And Calais may be the one to just peek out and try and steal a weapon away. They're actually just completely oblivious to this position at the moment. Peeks out, freebie kill. Quix has got one in the meantime, but he's quickly gone. And Jax with the turnaround. He's just so good at the moment. Picking up another couple. The site is theirs once more. And the remaining players, well, it is 2 CZs, and it's Cola and Arch, so maybe there's something here.
But I'm glad to see how methodically they check the site. How many times do you see teams getting a little lackadaisical and just not checking every corner they need to, and then suddenly, oh, there's the CZ, oh, there's, you know, a kill, oh, the time's run out. Exactly, so good for them to do it. Recovery mission for Arch. He's got himself the rifle with full armor, so this is save time for him. Again, you can see the money is in pretty poor standing for the CT side. Very rough times for them. Envy doing very nicely on these. For Color, he wants exits. He's a gun for himself, and he just gets a hail of bullets on the other side. You can see the AK just on the floor in front of him. Sadly unable to pick it up and get it to hand.
I'm interested in the fact that one of the players had 4 grand, and they get 300-400 next round, so just planning on having $7,400 for the buy. I feel like they could have invested a little bit more into that round and gone for something, at least try and do a bit of extra damage, because okay, maybe in the future that helps him out a bit, but it's just a bit peculiar. Well,
bear in mind, he was the player in Vents. If maybe he bought armor or something, he could have played a little bit more to that. Did get a kill with just the P250, but still. Anyway, into this one. Seems though we do have that AWP out for practice, so hopefully this is a changing factor for Prophecy. Otherwise, we are in real dire straits, but a mid-aggression coming out from Quix and Slap. Let's eyes on them. Let's see what they're up to, because those two are pushing very quickly. Maybe a boost going to come in. Maybe just some attentive play towards that smoke. But look at the positioning coming out from Skell. And look on the other side here. It seems though they're aware of a possibility of aggression. This is the position you go to instantly. If you think players are going to push up middle, get up on T-Red, just hold the smoke, wait it out. Now, there's always a threat of a counter boost, but you'd hope they'd hear it or something would go off or alarm bells would ring. But so far, that's good positioning from him. There's a lot of players towards B, though, for the CT side, but Skell is finding 2. The rotate through middle, denied so quickly.
Great work from him, even looking to try and find a third. A Slap is close as well. Peeks in. Actually, Slap wins the duel, but it's still going to be a man lost over towards B, and it always seems to be a horrible retake scenario for whoever is left alive for Prophecy. And I love this from Envy as well. After a pause comes in, you normally know that they're going to change something. So waiting patiently and looking for aggression, it's just intelligent play. And they're just shutting down players. Kolo, he can't even get an exit at this point, let alone an entry frag. And it leaves Slap in middle, saving this weapon. Well, we know that there's a little bit of extra cash at least, because they had that spare money from the previous round. Arch actually had a saved weapon as well, but yeah, VKL, that Mac-10 that he kept for so long, really did make him a nice amount of money.
And also a good couple of kills. And some players respond really well to that. They kind of need that, in a way. It gets a feeling way more confident, kind of into the game a bit more if you feel like... I remember it was Freiburg saying, and I've spoken to him since about it, some players respond way better to getting eco-frags. They kind of need to get them, get their confidence building, so, you know, when they look at the scoreboard, they don't care about it. But this is him kind of off a rotate from Skell. Incredibly important as well. Those players that he took away basically allowed that B hit to come through and be just that little bit better off, that little bit more powerful. Look at this buy. It's so bad for Prophecy, the UMPs.
Yeah, Kolor has 1 kill after buying the AWP twice, so money well spent.
Yeah,
the looks
solid.
That's very, very worrying. He's only really been playing over towards middle as well, so maybe a switch up there. Although he did actually peek aggressively last time, and while eco-frags were mentioned, Hadji's enjoying them at the moment. Quite easy double spray as they tried to push together.
They're not even eco-frags though, really. There's UMPs brought up and bits like that. It's almost worse. The problem is that he's been doing this the whole time as well.
For him,
the first time they exactly, he's like, this is great. I've just got some free farm.
Oh, they have weapons. Ooh, I probably shouldn't have played that aggressive.
The thing is that he's been playing over by Squeaky all the time. He hasn't been tested there because they haven't played towards Squeak. So maybe they weren't aware, and when you throw this curveball out so late, you've got to be hyper aware of everything, right? Because you haven't seen everything that the teaser brought early game. Sadly, not the case. The flashes work out well. The 2 kills come in swiftly. And of course, the 3rd in the end. You could look how keen they are at this. They're flashing retakes back into B spawn just in case there's a player there. These guys are playing with real purpose, and it's very easy when you've 8-0 up, you just won your map, you've gone into theirs, you're leading. You're flawless in the season so far to get complacent, to get ahead of yourself and lose that focus. But they are putting on a show. Genuinely, they are putting on a real show.
To watch. And while the CT side are really struggling against it, I think they should still have a bye going into the next round because they had the 3,400 loss bonus, bought a few UMPs. The remaining player had an extra bye because Arch actually saved an AK in the previous. Yeah, so with 3,400, there will still be a bye. The thing is, though, considering what was invested and the amount of damage they managed to do, it really isn't that impressive, and they'll in fact lose the AK towards the end. Now, it's not going to affect them massively. But the thing that will be is the fact the score is now sat at 9-0.
Yeah.
And, yeah, Envy, well, this is looking more like the reminiscent of the old Envy on this sort of map. Like, the way they were just so dominant. Any sort of aggression they had seemed to work. The entry kills were just flawless. They've been playing almost mind games with their opponents.
I wonder if they predict the double orb. If they go for a big site hit here, late in round, I'll be happy. I'm not sure about this mid play. That's incredibly assertive from Lambert, I guess you could say. If he wants to take an AWP duel, then fine. It's the first real opportunity as well. Prophecy are going to be able to have this double AWP up. See if there's any unique positioning with it. So we've got Cali and Color both on that. And we do have one over towards A. And then one towards B. So nothing too unique. I like the aggression here. But Envy slowly working back in. They're trying to draw out these shots. And it is a mid take. You can see them lining up the smokes and flashes. So I wonder how this one's going to go down. One smoke in towards connector. Allows Lambert a bit more play, but they haven't really committed anywhere other than this. This is as far as they've really tended for.
Yeah, it seems like just waiting for any sort of aggression. Peak. We're coming out mid now. Lambert making that push forward. There's aggression still over towards that A site, and they are actually going to be looking to try peek in there eventually. I feel like this is likely to be an A hit, and wow, Lambert is just dominating. He's just being able to take all this aggression with no response. Slap has fled the scene, and actually they're going to go turn back to B. The AWP waiting from Calais. Needs to hit the first shot and does. 25 seconds left on the clock. They've gone back to these slow plays once again. Missed shot. They're still being held back. Calais doing work with the AWP. Looks for more, but once again they're going to drop. It's down to Arch. He's just got to hold on here, but goes down with only seconds left to spare. And the bomb will be planted to go back into a 2v2.
This is all on Lambert, surely. Hadji, he's so low. He's on 8 HP. Color and Quicks, where are you here? Lambert unsure of where they're going to play retake from. Paranoid that it's behind, but it's not. They're both from the same direction, and the shutdown comes in. No matter how hard Prophecy push and how close they get, Envy just shut the book on them, and this doesn't look like an academy team. This looks far better.
Yeah, well, I was questioning at the sort of the beginning of the day who would come out as like the sort of dominant team.
Yeah.
And at the moment, they are just showing that it is definitely them. Haven't lost a round as of yet. Every single situation they get put into seems to still turn around. They were pushing there after losing 2 players with 20 seconds left, and they come out in a position where, okay, 2 players alive, and it didn't even look like they broke that much of a sweat, which is crazy. Like, to be that calm in those situations is almost worrying. But Kolo with the CZ, I feel like it should just be his weapon of choice at this point, because he's doing more damage with that than the AWP, and it's quite a bit cheaper.
One of those things, isn't it? You're at 10-0, and the best chance you have is with the CZ. Not the life you dream of. Sadly for the Prophecy guys, seeming to just run out of ideas as to how to approach. They've tried aggression, tried several different ways of looking at the game, but none of them seem to sit well with them, sadly. As now they run out of time, and you kind of discuss the opportunities that get given over when you do well with your money, or you save a bit, you finally get that buy on the board, and what's good for the economy. At this point, you just need rounds. It doesn't matter how you get them, what you do to get them, if you're being smart or not. Rounds are all that matter. You're currently sat with 0 beside your name. That is not a good look for anyone. Flash over middle, VKL, Hadji getting this one started. And this time, it's being contained.
Yeah, already finding 2 openings over towards the A site. Once again, they're just going to clear this site methodically, checking the boost, walking back around. VK takes the head clean off. Kelly looking for one with the Deacon, does manage, and the second as well. That's a nice double. Pistols once again looking to try and do this. And now the push actually coming in from Arch. He's very close to the smoke though. Skell just waiting behind it. Has an idea there's somebody coming, and he just gets in behind and sprays the second as well. Always a step ahead. 11-0.
It almost feels like they're giving them a little bit of hope just to take it away. It's just cruelty, isn't it? But can we just say today I am the only person thus far to get 100% accuracy on my predictions? You're welcome. Yeah. You can call me Thorin, just... Yep, not going to follow that sentence. Hi, Duncan. Double up, though. Again, back out to play for Prophecy. Again, didn't work so well last time, but maybe they can find a bit more use for it here. I love this boost towards T-Red, too. It just supplements this player towards, you know, where Jax is right now. Allows them to get that mid-control building, deny any CT aggression. You know, when the frustration kicks in for Prophecy, just due to the fact they have 0 kills, and already Lambert going to find color. And how much more can go wrong for these guys?
That was just patience as well. Set all the way back towards spawn. And already they're just picked apart. Mid-control seems easy. Slap, he hides for a bit and manages to get one. His stats have been increased by a bit, but easy stuff. And well, Thorin may not be here, but we do have Lauren.
How dare you do this? I'll get a ginger beard, don't worry. Do you remember when Henry G put it on at one of the DreamHack events? He whacked on
I did enjoy it.
Peered up. I might need to do that. Hopefully when Duncan's not at these events.
Can you spell it the same way as well, just with an L at the beginning?
No, absolutely not. I can't spell. I am a female. Come on now. I'm not allowed that sort of thing. That's far too tricky. Had G though off to the start. Looks towards Beast. One goes in. Ambitious, hoping this one's still up on that ledge.
Why not?
Everything else is working for you. Might as well give it a crack.
Yeah, it's got sort of towards, well, it is the point of no return, really, because they're just going into force buy after force buy. And at this point, you can't really blame them. If you try double orbs, you try aggression, you try running in with UMPs, you try pushing B site, and you get caught out instantly, maybe just a ridiculous force buy and an individual play will be the one to drag you through. Kelly does start things off. Hasn't picked up a gun. He's thrown away his. There we go.
All right.
He gets there in the end.
How's it going to go wrong, Tom? Because I'm upset now. Because every time it's like, there's a chance. We get excited. Maybe they get the last few.
I still believe. Here we go. Archie's managed to get himself a kill, but Jax is turning the tide again. It will be back, though, to a 2 versus 2. Slap and Quicks managed to retrieve a rifle. They don't have a kit. So bear in mind when the bomb goes down, things become a lot more difficult for this CT side. And they're not looking good. Their facial expressions tell a much bigger story. Well, maybe not so much than the scoreline, but Slap is going to be pushing back in. Skell doesn't have much support, so it's now all going to go down to Lambert, the clutch king, the maestro of the previous map. He gets the first, looking for this second to keep the clean sweep going, and gets it as well. Lambert, he's just a god in those situations, and it doesn't get any worse for Prophecy.
Yeah, this is sophisticated dominance. This is a team who's just playing a higher level. Individually, as a collective, it's all there for them. And it's a statement. If you're Envy, you came into today knowing that everyone's going to, chalk this up. Oh, this is the close matchup. This is the one, these two teams, and they were. Both teams having very clear, clean runs so far. Both undefeated. And only one real team could have kept that title here. And it looks like Envy are clinging hold of that, tooth and nail. Now,
what do you say?
What's the plan?
Right, we're aiming for 2.
Just get the 2.
Yeah, just try and get something. The funny thing is earlier we had like the two interviews and Quicks was saying that, yeah, we're going to take the first map 16-10 and then they said, that was said to VKL and he went, really? Just sort of that sheer confidence of just like, are you sure? And I can sort of see why now. I can sort of see why they were just going into this feeling very, very confident and a bit because he already knew what the first map was and was just like, yeah, no, it's Cobble. We haven't lost yet on Cobble. We don't plan on changing that anytime soon. And yeah, they were very, very impressive on their T side of that map. I do think a lot of the clutches helped them, but at the same time, if a player can win clutch again and again and again, when does it start being like, okay, maybe they need to do better in the rounds, or he is just incredible? And I think Lambert has just, I don't know how he's doing it. I really don't. He's died twice.
He's just showing such value to him being alive.
In 13 rounds.
Yep. DKL going through the motions. Mid-aggression come out from the CT side. Maybe this is how they feel there's an answer, but there could be an instant change up from Envy. They could just hit A quick. That's all you got to do is Come out of those pauses. Once that your other team tries to come up with a tactical change-up, switch it up yourself. Keep them guessing. Make it difficult for them to find any way to improve. And so far, it's going to be Quicks being the dominant man to keep this one together. But, oh, here comes the boost. Arch up and over. He waits patiently for his time to strike. There are players everywhere. VKL's not watching this. He's on the other side in middle. It'll be basically Lambert, if anyone, to spot this out. Otherwise, he'll be the first to fall. VKL unaware. Slap to strike. Hadji goes down. Maybe an opportunity building here. Strike comes in from Cali. This is all looking good. It's only down to 2. Lambert is alive, though, and we know what can happen. He does have a teammate. There it is. Skell as well. Oh, no, this can't be happening. Not again. Not like this. It's down to a 2v2.
No, it's not happening. I don't believe in it. Not from that position. 5v2 already on low HP, and they have brought this back to a 2 versus 2, and then they've slowed things right down. Kolor, he has his AWP. It hasn't been going well in this map, it has to be said. We're just going to throw the bomb up. And try and take it into middle. Just patient stuff, but there's only 30 seconds left.
Because you're hoping for 2 things. One, they've either split 1-1, or you just go to the right side, you get the drop on one of the players, right? Those are the kind of hopes here. And here it is. There's the drop. It happens. The bomb works its way up highway. Kohler can stop this. He's got 10 seconds. He looks away at the time. He doesn't hit the shot. The bomb's over. The plant's going to come in. He needs to stop this. And no, it's a big no. And there it is. Envy. Flawless play so far.
Look at them.
You can't stop him, can you?
That's ridiculous. 5v2, and I think both players are below. So that 50 HP mark after,
they're down here. They're at 40 combined, basically.
I'm actually just like, I've got no words at this point, and that's bad because that's sort of why I'm employed.
It's performances like this though, where it all goes right. And look at this, they're confident. Why not?
So Envy have got me fired pretty much. Look at now. This is just okay. We've just crushed you in 1 round.
They're doing it. They're gonna make it hurt.
We're going for the flawless half. VKL just pushing through. It's like, okay, where's your first map now? Is he just going to continue this aggression? What do you even do against this? 3 kills in the round, a flawless half, not a single round drop, and that is exactly how they should look. Absolute perfection from Envy. You don't see performances like that. You come into these events, you expect close games, sloppy games, games that don't have clear winners. You know, these kind of rounds that go back and forward that shouldn't. There should be clearer cut. Came into this, and I looked into the Envy guys. They've had a couple of close games they've played against. I think it was Alternate Attacks. I was looking over their game, how they played in that. Close, but they lost. You know, they play against Binary Dragons a lot. A decent team. Yeah. A decent team as well. LDLC, I'm thinking, okay, well, they're not beating these teams, but they're playing them. That gives you a really good heads up. That gives you a nice way, because you'll get punished. You lose, that's the best chance to learn. You know, you don't always learn from your victories. You come back going, yeah, that was awesome, everything went well. You lose to a better team, you go back, you strengthen yourself, you learn to get better, how to work harder, how to provide better results as individuals and as a team. And we're seeing this now. So their map pool, I don't know where the limits are, and that's kind of scary in an event like this. Very, very scary. I think for anybody who was on the fence, probably gone now. Like the
fence has been removed.
There is no more fence. They've decided to just have a nice like flowing garden instead, and it's almost like a field at this point. You don't really know where it ends. Sort of like their map pool. It all links back in. Over to the T side. That's where we've seen the majority of rounds go so far in this series. If this came back, this would be the most incredible thing I've ever seen.
I'll leave you to cast this one round, just in case. It's the perfect round, or the comeback begins. All right, it's one of the two. I accept nothing less.
Nothing less. Big control. Going to be coming in for the T side, looking to try and challenge onto Jax, but he's already found the first kill. Looks to try and back away. Quicks is trying to take him down, but he just cannot. Further pushes from Lambert. They're feeling confident at this point. Calais will be able to bring one back, and a second, in fact. May try to do this alone, pushing as well. That's a third for Calais. Back into an even scenario with the HP benefits, but Calais again. 4 kills for him. Leaves it onto Skell. 1 versus 2. He's dropped the bomb. Last player low. Skell gets him, and it's finished. They give us a little bit of hope. A smidge as Calais finds 4. But it's the 16-0. The 2 top teams. The 2 top teams. And one just got destroyed.
You look at it this way, Prophecy look like kings, but what are the kings to gods of Envy? Doesn't make much of a difference to these boys. They just showed us exactly the level of CS we can expect from them going forward. It all looked good and well. It was a lovely storyline, 2 teams battling it out, but really, This was sophisticated dominance from Envy. They showed absolutely no mercy, and they look good at it too. I've got to say, very, very impressive stuff. You don't see that every day.
I want to continue on the song. I want to say, because I was a non-believer, and not anymore. Not anymore. I think we have just seen the favorites in the tournament, like, officially be crowned, and we're going to see if there's anybody around now who can take them down.
Well, look, they have been now just crowned the ones that everyone needs to aim for. There's the bar. It's just been set. Good luck reaching that.
It's a high bar. I can't reach it.
No, I'm quite short. So
am I.
Yeah, we're not in a good position. Hopefully there's something we can stand on. But speaking of people who aren't so short, they've got nice little chairs though. It's very comfortable, but they don't have much to break down. Maybe they can just enjoy the game that they've just seen, because that was very one-sided, boys, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, indeed. Pansy, Tom Biz, so much to talk about there. I'm sure you're in shock, in awe of what's just happened. We'll have all the reaction and maybe chat to some of the players and chat to Csgo and Herald after a quick break. Grab a drink. We'll see you soon. Well, if you've been with us from the beginning of the day, you will have seen the 4 matches. Right now, after what an incredible match that was, Prophecy versus Team Envyus, we have VKill with us on the desk with Csgo and Herald. Congratulations, monsieur. How are you feeling after that one?
Thank you. I mean, we had fun.
Yeah.
Like, it was a pleasure to play, even if there is no, like, they don't play as they should.
Yeah.
But we had fun together.
because the first match in Cobblestone, brilliant game, 16-10, it was fantastic to watch. You must have been enjoying that because both teams unbeaten. You had your sort of CV on the line, and you came up. But that was a close match in that first map.
I don't know, because Steve side we won like 10-5, I think, and we lost around by the time or this kind of stuff, maybe on eco. So maybe if you were like a more warm, we could be like more like 12-3 or something. And as City, we won the gun round, but we lost the eco by stupid mistakes. So I don't know. Yeah, it was a great match. So
because this was the end of map 1, and incredible from Lambert.
Yeah.
And just talk us through. I mean, Hadji didn't have the best game that we're used to seeing, but yourself, you were brilliant on that one. What was going through your mind at some of these plays?
Like when my mates, I don't know. My mate and I, we practice a lot, and we see a lot of actions like that. So we're just happy because it happens at the right time. We knew like we are clutchers. We are all good players, so it feels good. Like when you went out like in a great situation, like Lambert or 1-on-3, 1-on-2. It feels confidence and great.
Yeah, they definitely looked confident, Harold and SEO, in that first map. We'll get to map 2 in just a second, but map 1, it was close, even though the scoreline suggested otherwise. It was a close match, wasn't it?
Yeah, I feel like the first half wasn't as close as we do portray. Like, he mentioned like they lost an eco, they lost around to time. Like, that first half was very favourite towards Envy, but then the second half it kind of slipped out of their hands a bit, but obviously they did come back.
Yeah.
So it was close, but at the same time, it couldn't have been. It was very wish-washy, I suppose. There's no real term.
But I have to say, we were not expecting the first whitewash of the Elite Series. I mean, this is an unbeaten team, 2-0 at the moment. They come and play another favourite for this tournament and the Elite Series, and yet 16-0 en français. Incredible stuff. I mean, talk us through what was happening here.
I mean, we were doing our game round by round, and like we're 8-0, 9-0. We were so confident, so we were like, go to the 15-0, go. Yeah. No mistakes, no greedy stuff, just no mistakes.
Just go.
Yeah,
allez.
Just do the stuff that we wanted to do, and I mean, yeah, was a perfect side, I think.
Do you feel like Prophecy's heads would have dropped? They lost that confidence every time you got another round?
I don't know them personally, but every person, I think, when they lost, like I mean, we crushed them. Like every round, we were like 4, maybe 5 lives. So, you know, you lose confidence because you don't make kills or stuff like that. So, yeah, I think it's normal to fall down mentally.
Yeah. Ezio, Harold, I mean, anyone who's new to esports or CSGO in general, how often, let's put it in perspective for everybody, how often does something like that happen? I mean, we knew this was going to be a massive match, everyone was excited about it, it's Envyus, it's Prophecy, neither team have lost. How often does that happen, what we've just said?
This isn't a common thing to see. A 16-0 is a very rare occasion, and when it does happen, you know, you have to look at it, and a lot of the time, it's not just that one team was so much better than the other team that it was just a whitewash. It is that there are reasons you can look into and say, right, you know, from the very beginning, this is what was going wrong. And I think Prophecy, they have to look into it. They have to say, right, first 9 rounds, what went wrong? What gave us so little confidence that for the rest of the game we were unable to win? Once it gets past that 0-9 and it keeps on snowballing downhill like that, it's very hard to come back. It's very, very difficult to get your head back in it. They really need to focus on that first 9 rounds, think, right, what went wrong? Why did it go so badly wrong that we were just incapable of finding any frags? It may well be that they have a very, very weak T side. That could be a possibility. Sorry, I think it was it C? I'm just getting confused. We only saw one side, but you know, whichever side it was, they weren't very good at.
Yeah.
They need to look into that, and they need to see what went wrong. Because obviously, while Envyus is a very, very, very skilled team, you wouldn't say it's a normal thing for that to happen.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Prophecy, they matched Envyus. You know, one of the favourites for this tournament, Elite Series. But just to. to not turn up like that. What happened? Come on, Csgo, break it down for me, please. Have something. What went wrong? Were they not AWPing well enough? Were they not taking the shots when they needed it? Keep going back to the eco rounds. What was it?
I feel like when it's a situation like this, there's a lot of things that go wrong. It can't just be like, oh, there's not enough AWPers, there's not enough rifle, we're not rotating correctly. It's a mixture of a lot of things. Like, you know, Vika mentioned that it was like whitewash rounds. I think at the end of the CT half, they had about 32 kills between the 5 players, meaning there was an average of 3 players alive every round for Envy. Yeah. Which just says enough, really.
Yeah. I mean, we've got to talk about this, Vkill. Your stats for the whole both maps, 39 kills in total. But looking at the stats of that last map, 18 kills. Your ADR for Cash was 128.5 ADR. Just a smile. That's all I'm going to get from him. I mean, talk us through. That is your overall stats there. 39 kills, headshots 15%, and a combined total of ADR 104.80. I mean, you look at those stats. How do you improve on those stats, Vkill?
I mean, in practice, I'm not like the scorer. I'm like not bad, but I'm not like like this. I'm not like so skilled. I mean, I felt so confident in my moves, in my skills, and I mean, we play against great teams in internet, so it's different. But I feel more confident in LAN, and it shows it.
You like that live spectacle. What's the secret? Come on. Other teams watching right now are like, what was it, an energy drink? Did he drink half of it? Maybe he drank a third of it. Then he got the first frag, drank another third.
About
the shirt? Is it the shirt?
About the skill, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. How was it? How did you get that performance today? What did you just feel confident today? Was there
First of all, I took the mouse pad off numbers. Okay. So it felt, it made the difference. I don't know. I mean, I'm the type of guy, like, I'm not focused on my skill. Not at all, but a little bit. I'm more focused about how I can brain the opponent, how I can move like this, where can we go, stuff like this. And when we have to shot, we shot.
Okay, it's beautiful stuff. Let's have a look at the standings right now of the Elite Series. Gentlemen, to my left, and Vkill as well, I'll ask you as well. That is the table. Is this how we expected it, the end of week 3?
I wouldn't have put Method in the bottom 4.
No?
No, I expected the top 3 teams to be the international teams, but I had Method probably going for 4th here. So obviously with Endpoint technically being tied with Infused there, it's a bit of a shock to me. Like, I would have probably put Infused at the bottom near Reason. So Method being on 2 points is a big shock to me.
Okay, and then Reason at the bottom, Herald, 8-point gap between Team Envyus. Can they pick this up in the next couple of weeks?
Do you want the long answer or the short answer?
I would prefer the long answer.
No.
Okay, okay.
No, I mean, they're struggling. Let's be honest, they're struggling. They need to pick up, they need to find out what's going wrong. To be honest, I'm quite surprised by the Endpoint position. You know, Endpoint, they've changed 2 players. They've come in with a completely new roster, and somehow they're actually top 4, placing top 4 right now, a joint top 4, of course. But you know, that's pretty impressive stuff. If they can continue, they've got a couple of easy games, they've also got a couple of hard games. So keeping themselves in that top 4, getting into the semi-finals or the what do you call it, the playoffs, that could be quite big for them, especially seeing as their confidence coming into this maybe a little bit knocked. But that's looking good. Reason, like you say, they've got a point. They've got a point. They need to step up. They really, really need to step up. Losing a player doesn't help, but come on.
And not to dwell on it, you know, they must be feeling it right now, but Prophecy, those boys, will they bounce back next week?
Of course, yeah. I mean, they're still in second. They're still in second on the leaderboard. All they've got to do is play their game, and they should be able to come back into this pretty lively. Hey, it's tough losing 16-0. It's never going to be easy, but they need to go home. They need to say, right, let's look at it. Let's take everything we can from this game. Let's not waste the fact that we've just been 16-0'd. Use it to their advantage, and you know they should be able to get. You know,
I guess they're not used to play against team like playing like action reaction. They do this, we do this, and I think they choked a bit about that.
Okay, well listen, Vkill, congratulations on your stats today. I know you don't like to focus on your skills, but today we can. You were fantastic. Csgo, thank you so much, and Herald as well. Listen, to you guys as well. The Counter-Strike competition has produced an early leader. The Envyus Academy are now the team to beat. Unbeaten after 3 weeks of the Elite Series, tomorrow we'll be back with an action-packed day of Rocket League from 2 p.m. Be sure to join us for that one. Good night from us here. Thank you.